Now saying Iran has agreed to allow inspectors from the UN's nuclear agency into the country. That promise, however, was also a part of the deal with Iran reached under the Obama administration, which President Trump tore up. Here's ABC's Steve Ganyard.
Some sort of an international body that may begin to at least provide some of the information that's been missing, frankly, for months, if not years. And then it's going to be a decision by the intelligence community about, are the Iranians pushing beyond what eventually will be agreed to?
There are changes on the way in the intelligence community, sources tell ABC News. The new acting director of national intelligence, Bull Pulte, has started laying people off. The House could vote as soon as today on a housing reform package that passed the Senate with bipartisan support, one part of it banning Wall Street investors from buying up single-family homes. Europe is roasting, with much of the continent expecting temperatures in the mid-90s or higher for several days. This is ABC News. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer is leaving 10 Downing Street and quitting as the country's Labour Party leader and PM. ABC's James Longman in London has more on his tumultuous time in office.
Basically, there are two big things wrong with Keir Starmer. The first, his personality, I'm sorry to say, just hasn't gelled with the British people, even in the speech he made outside Downing Street. And there was no emotion until right at the end when he spoke about his family, to be fair, and no direction with the government. Social services are broken. People don't feel like there's opportunity. There's a huge cost of living crisis. And the Labour Party, for most people in this country, is not a party that has any of the answers.
The mayor of Manchester, Andy Burnham, who has just been sworn in as a member of Parliament, is Starmer's likely replacement as Prime Minister. Prime Day is here. Amazon's summer sales event is likely to drive over $26 billion in spending, a 9% jump over last year. I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
It is 6:02. We've got bright sunshine in downtown St. Louis, 60 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. Several St. Louis City aldermen considered taking a bold protest against the state-appointed board for their self-induced budget chaos, not passing a budget.
The vote to pass the budget was ultimately successful, with 10 voting in favor. Aldermanic President Megan Green says not passing the budget would have been a failed protest, with the police department still required by law to receive 23% of the city's budget this year. Alderwoman Alicia Saunier was concerned the failure to pass a budget to spite the state-appointed police board could hurt the city's legal case seeking to regain local control.
If a budget doesn't pass by the order of aldermen, how might you perceive that to impact some of the judicial conversations that are happening?
Saunier was one of 10 yes votes. The budget must receive a final vote of approval from the Board of Aldermen before being finalized by the Board of Estimate and Apportionment at the end of the month. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
I'm Maria Aquina. It's apparent the $250 million budget the St. Louis Board of Police Commissioners wants for fiscal year 2027 is not going to be the amount the Board of Aldermen passes.
We, as a police department, have to be collaborative. And we look forward to conversations and those sit-down meetings where we can continue to have conversations about what the Board of Aldermen can do to help support the police department and make sure that the Board of Aldermen are also making meaningful investments in public safety, because I know they also believe it's important.
McCoy says he does not think there are many cities, though, that a government would remove $1 million from a police budget to ultimately pay for raises for the fire department.
A St. Louis City firefighter is on leave and under investigation after allegedly defecating inside a food storage area at Lambert Airport. Actually, it was in a box on June 10th in the food storage room. The firefighter left it there. A source with knowledge of the situation said all the food in the room needed to be disposed of.
When asked for comment, a spokesperson for Lambert called the incident unacceptable and for anyone involved with them, and thanked the fire department for removing the firefighter from airport duty. The fire department confirmed the firefighter is on leave and under investigation. KMOX has reached out to the county police department seeking an incident report and the food company for a statement.
A man has been sentenced for the drive-by shooting of a 12-year-old in the Baden neighborhood. 34-year-old Devon Blair sentenced yesterday to 18 years after pleading guilty to that shooting. Blair drove to a home in the 8700 block of Canaan Avenue, December 2025, fired multiple rounds from an AR-15 style rifle, and a 12-year-old was hit and later died.
You could land a plane on Goodfellow, but they are looking at ways to make it a bit more engaging for the neighborhood, says Jonathan Roper. He's the city planning executive for the Planning and Urban Design Agency. This afternoon is a planned STL neighborhood meeting to talk about that and the future of the Mark Twain I-70 industrial neighborhood.
This event is part of the Plan STL neighborhood planning program for the whole neighborhood of Mark Twain. So that includes roughly 900 residents as well that live in the neighborhood.
The event runs from 4 to 6 at the Omega Center on Goodfellow.
Voters in the Francis Howell School District will see two propositions on the November ballot. Proposition H is a $150 million bond package. Prop O addresses facility needs and operating budgets. Superintendent Mark Delaney tells the Business Journal they're projected to lose about $9.3 million in state funding over the next 2 years, while the district sees higher costs for labor, insurance, fuel, and supplies.
Madison County's health department and some other county offices will be moving to downtown Wood River and out of the Wood River Township Hospital building. The Madison County Board has approved the purchase of 5 properties that will be renovated as modern offices, according to the Riverbender.
Madison County Chairman Chris Slusser says the former hospital, which opened in 1949, is increasingly impractical, expensive to maintain, and is like throwing good money after bad. The county is expected to close on the downtown Wood River properties this fall, and they'll spend about $12 million renovating.
Leave it to the professionals and do not discharge fireworks in the city of St. Louis.
If you see something, please say something and call 911. Officers will respond, but we also have to triage calls as they come in based off of the information we have. Our officers will respond and address those fireworks as they come up, but we do have to make sure that we are balancing other calls for service that are coming in across the city.
St. Louis Police Department's Mitch McCoy says the calls are triaged through the 911 call center, but adds priority calls like a person shot will be responded to first.
We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll take a look at the roadways and a sunny morning. Should be a nice day. A closer look at the forecast as well. Stay with us here at 6:07.
There's nothing like hearing your friends and family clearly. A grandchild's laugh, conversation with a friend, or the punchline to a joke. Charlie Brennan here with Dr. Colleen Bosler from the Audiology Center. Dr. Bosler and her team understand that hearing is personal. That's why you'll always work with certified audiologists like Adam Voss, Bailey Campbell, and Dr. Colleen Bosler.
That's right, Charlie. We offer hearing aids from all major manufacturers, so our recommendations are based on what fits you best. With us, we follow best practice fitting methods to ensure your hearing aids are programmed precisely for your unique hearing needs. But our care doesn't end when you walk out the door. As we know, hearing aids require continued support, adjustments, and maintenance, and we offer these services at no extra cost to you. Because better hearing isn't just about devices, it's about reconnecting to the moments that matter most. Call us today at 636-441-7470 or visit us online at theaudiologycenterstl.com.
Attention all dog owners. If you have ever listened to the radio or TV for any length of time, you've probably heard of America's #1 dog supplement, Rough Greens. Greetings, naturopathy Dr. Dennis Black, Amazon best-selling author and founder of Rough Greens here. And if your dog suffers from bad breath, itchy skin, licking paws, joint pain, or low energy, the truth is their food is probably to blame. You see, all commercial dog food is dead food. That's why I created Rough Greens. One daily scoop gives your pup the live vitamins, omega oils, probiotics, and enzymes that will bring their food back to life. Don't believe me? Let your dog try it before you buy it. I'll send you a free Jumpstart trial bag, risk-free. You just cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Use discount code NEWS. Don't wait. Give your dog the gift of vibrant health. Order now. It'll be at your house in a few days. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Discount code NEWS for your free Jumpstart trial bag today. Rough Green. We make any dog food better.
All access with Ollie Marble on the Gas House Gang.
I show up every day looking forward to what's next for this group. This group fits my personality to a T. I love what we're doing. I love how we're going about it. I love the honest conversations. I love the grit. And there's been certain times where I've caught myself where bases are loaded, our back's up against the wall, and I can't help but smile. I show up every day looking forward to what's next for this group.
Ollie Marble, Tuesdays at noon on KMOX. This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
Okay, it's time to check traffic. 610 Roger Brand, overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, no worries out there right now, Tom. Things are okay. In fact, they picked up all the road work. Everything's completely thinned out now. Westbound 70, Wentzville Parkway out to David Hokel Parkway is running smoothly. Coming in from the Warrenton area, eastbound is not an issue. And it looks good in the rest of the work zones. 55 coming up to the Merrimack River. Downtown, of course, we have new road work going on northbound 255. North and southbound supposed to have the two right lanes closed at Horseshoe Lake Road, but the only thing that was impacted yesterday whenever we were keeping tabs on it during the rush hours was the northbound side. It was backing up a jam, actually, back to 5570, but right now that looks okay for you as well. And then downtown, of course, the express lanes are closed on 70, and of course 44 is closed between the Mutual Veterans and Poplar Bridges still. Eastbound 70, the last exit is Tucker, and traffic is still moving fine, single file down into that point or getting onto the Mutual Veterans Bridge going eastbound into Illinois. Next update at 6:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
KMOX AccuWeather, a nice day today with sunshine and a few afternoon clouds. High 82. Partly cloudy early tonight, then clouding up late tonight, though 68. Clouds, some intervals of sun and more humid tomorrow. A stray afternoon thunderstorm, high 82. Thursday, some sun, then increasing clouds and humid. Some showers and heavy thunderstorms are likely in the afternoon that could produce flooding downpours and gusty winds. Thursday's high 83. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Bright sunshine out there this morning. Doesn't seem very windy. Shouldn't have too many problems. It's 60 degrees downtown.
It's 6:12, sports in 3 minutes. A convicted felon from Hanley Hills admits to a Creve Coeur bank robbery. 48-year-old Matthew Parker admitted to robbing a bank in the 11400 block of Olive in June 2025. The next month, an officer conducted a search of his home and found a pistol, which he is not allowed to possess due to his status as a felon. He will be sentenced in September.
A convicted felon admits to selling meth to an undercover agent. 27-year-old Anthony Watkins of St. Louis was also caught with guns and cocaine and has been charged on 7 counts. A search of Watkins' home from September 2024 found more than 3 pounds of meth, a pound of cocaine, and 3 firearms, which Watkins is banned from possessing due to a prior felony. He'll be sentenced in September.
A survey of rural bankers in Missouri and throughout the Midwest finds mixed news, according to Creighton economics professor Ernie Goss. He says there are still agricultural weaknesses.
China, for example, you compare 2026 to 2024, still down 68%, although the exports to China are expanding right now from 2025. Still not enough there. We need to see more growth there, and that's going to be positive for all the states in the region.
Goss tells Missouri Net nearly 60% of bankers say they've noticed rural business expansion and hiring.
Upcoming theme nights at Cardinals games. If you like clothing items, listen up. June 25th is Barbie night. That features the giveaway of a pink sequined Barbie Cardinals hat. Jimmy Buffett fans? Well, the next night is Margaritaville night. That is June 26th, and you'll have to get your sorting hat ready. July 9th is Harry Potter night. I understand they're giving away scarves.
Okay, very interesting. Always a good time over at the ballpark at 6:14. Let's get right into it. Matt Pauley from Busch Stadium. I think he's dressed as a sportscaster, however. Here he is.
3 runs is enough as the Cardinals beat Arizona 3-2 with Nathan Church making his presence felt in many ways. He collects 2 of the team's 7 hits, scoring 1 run while driving in the eventual winning run. He steals his 5th base of the year and continues to play a solid center field. Manager Oliver Marmol comments on what he is seeing from Church.
He's going to continue to get better, man. This kid's hungry. He wants to be really good, and we're seeing professional at-bats. He's starting to see more pitches. We're seeing a couple walks now, which is also helpful. It's something that he's been focused on, but he has the ability to take a bag. He's got the speed to do it, and he's a really, really good defender. So the combination of all those things is something to get excited about.
Church has now hit safely in 5 straight games, matching his career high. At Busch Stadium, Matt Pauley, KMOX Sports.
Nolan Arenado made his return to Busch Stadium. Coming up at 6:22, you'll hear his thoughts on that reunion as well as how things ended here in St. Louis. That is on the way in 7 minutes. Oklahoma wins the College World Series. The Sooners knocked off North Carolina and capitalized on the Tar Heels' uncharacteristic pitching struggles. Got another clutch performance from their bullpen and won 13-2 in the winner-take-all Game 3 of the College World Series in Omaha. The win gave the Sooners their first national championship since 1994. Keith Tkachuk is going into the Hockey Hall of Fame. He got the call and said he had a house full of grandchildren when that news came.
I got the phone call again, and I just couldn't believe it. I actually didn't tell my family for about 45 minutes, and I grabbed my brother, my niece's fiance, and Brady, and said, hey, you guys want to have a beer together? And I told them and broke the news to them there.
The Blues forward, who lives here in St. Louis, got that news, and he is headed to Toronto for the Hockey Hall of Fame induction later this year. And what a couple of days for him. Brady and Matthew reunited. They'll be playing together in Florida after that trade went down on Father's Day. As Tkachuks celebrate, Dusty May is leaving the University of Michigan. The college basketball coach is headed to the Dallas Mavericks. In stunning news yesterday, he joins superstar Cooper Flagg, and another big draft pick coming their way as the Mavericks fired Jason Kidd. So Michigan promotes Mike Boynton Jr. to be their interim coach. They quickly moved to promote their assistant. That was a sketchy 90 minutes, I would say, for Billikens fans who started to read on social media that Michigan fans wanted their school to go after Josh Schertz. It's going to be Mike Boynton Jr. for the time being at the University of Michigan. There are changes in local college basketball. Arch Madness is making some changes. They will have men's and women's tournaments together here in St. Louis, March 3rd through the 7th. It will be one event at Enterprise Center. Commissioner Jeff Jackson fielding questions on that.
For an extended period of time. When you're a team that is struggling and you're finishing last in a conference like ours, you're not exactly buying a boat full of tickets to come to St. Louis and watch that tournament. So we're excited about where we're headed, what we're doing, and why.
That is going to be March 3rd through the 7th. The women will play 4 games on the 3rd. The men will play 4 games on the 4th. And then the 5th, 6th, and 7th will feature combined games at Enterprise Center on that day. The women and the men playing second-round semifinals and the championship games on Sunday. In the NBA, Giannis Antetokounmpo was traded from the Milwaukee Bucks to the Miami Heat in a blockbuster deal featuring one of the game's best players. And speaking of the best players, Lionel Messi is now in that conversation of the greatest soccer player ever. He wins yesterday for Argentina, but even bigger, he sets the all-time record for goals in the World Cup. 18 goals in his career after scoring twice in a victory over Austria 2-0. He scored in the 38th minute and again in stoppage time, and actually missed a penalty kick in the 9th minute in Dallas yesterday. The record of 17 and now 18 gave Argentina, the record was 17. That gave them a 1-0 lead 2 days before Messi's 39th birthday. And then he scored again to make it 18. I'm Tom Ackerman on the home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Hi, Margaret with Eamon Gantner and Capriano. We all procrastinate. We put things off, confident we'll have time later. Well, one who procrastinates in choosing will inevitably have their choices made for them by circumstance. Could be an illness or even a death. And it happened to me. I was widowed at 41. It could happen to you. If you procrastinate and fail to plan for your future, for your children, circumstances and the courts will make your plans for you without your input. Eamon Gantner and Capriano help thousands of families plan for their future now. We can be your personal attorney too, guiding you with a will, trust, powers of attorney, Medicaid, and VA. You may delay, but time does not. Eamon Gantner and Capriano, YourEstateMatters.com.
The choice of an attorney is an important decision and shouldn't be based solely on advertising.
Banner Construction. They have been in St. Louis working on siding and windows since 1993, but not just any siding and windows. We're talking about James Hardie siding. We're talking about Pella windows. They are a James Hardie elite contractor. That means a top-rated contractor selected by customers based on ratings, reviews, and reliability. They are proud to be a James Hardie elite contractor serving the St. Louis metro area. Banner Construction, 1993. So over 33 years as a St. Louis home remodeler, your home is one of the biggest investments you will ever make. And enhancing the appearance of your home, increasing its curb appeal and value, that is the focus of Banner Construction, as well as eliminating costly, repetitive maintenance. You won't need that after Banner is finished. BannerConstruction.com, and have a banner day.
Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Let's get you caught up on your ride in. It's 6:20 and time for Roger Brand to tell us more from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, so far so good on the area drive out there this morning, Debbie. This traffic reports the Service of Financial and Tax Strategies. Just see a little slowdown in that ramp from southbound 61 getting onto eastbound 70 out in the Wentzville area. All the overnight road work we had on the westbound side's all been picked up. Starting to see a little slow traffic as well. The right lane's northbound 55 Mattis up to 270. Once you get on to 270, though, you're in great shape up through Gravois 44 all the way up both directions through the work zone between 64 and Ladue are on the move. If you're on the Illinois side, things still look okay. 64 in Fairview Heights coming through the downtown bridges, 5570, even 255 right now from 5570 northbound up to Horseshoe Lake Road. That was a new project that started yesterday morning, and right now that looks great as well. Next update at 6:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
If your retirement plan is mostly what if and a little fingers crossed, you deserve better answers than that. Check out Wealth and Wisdom Saturdays at 7 a.m. here on KMOX. I'm Gary Goldberg. Call 800-966-1690.
Sunny to partly cloudy today. Should be nice. 82 degrees. Tomorrow a little more humid with a chance for a thunderstorm in spots in the afternoon. Otherwise, clouds and sun tomorrow, 82 as well. We could see some strong or heavy thunderstorms on Thursday. Right now, tons of sunshine and 60 degrees downtown.
Stepping out in front of home plate, Ivan Herrera. Arenado taking off his batting helmet, his right hand to his heart, waving to the Cardinal fans who give him a standing ovation, and rightfully so.
John Rooney with that call on KMOX yesterday, a second inning appearance by Nolan Arenado. His return to Busch Stadium. By the way, he knocked a hit out to left center right after that. Arenado spent a number of years here in St. Louis after a long start to his career, 10 years in Colorado, and enjoyed being a Cardinal, even though he came up short. He says that team expectations clouded his personal success.
You know, I think I made the mistake of 22 season. Like, in my mind, it was a great year, but, like, it just wasn't good enough because we lost in October, even though it was a great year. So 23, you know, even though 23 was a pretty darn good year, it just wasn't good enough, you know, and I wish if I can go back, I wish I would just appreciate how good I was playing in 23 also. You know, I was an all-star, you know, I played really well, and I think that, you know, that pressure of, like, nothing's ever good enough, I don't think that was necessarily needed. You know, I wish I didn't do that here, but, you know, 23 was also the hardest season I've ever played in my career, strictly based on losing the team ever in my career, because the expectations going into that year were still really high after 22, and we didn't live up to them at any. You know, we didn't. You know, we were. The season was bad from the jump, and so, you know, I felt like so I put a lot of pressure on myself to, like, turn that thing around, or it was my fault why those things were happening. So I wish I didn't do that if I can go back.
You can hear the emotion in Arenado's voice. He is one of the more passionate players we have ever had here in St. Louis. Spent 5 seasons here from 21 to 25 and put a lot of pressure on himself to win.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the mistake, you know, I made. Like I said, you know, I think, you know, if I didn't drive the runs in, I feel like we were going to lose. You know, it was my fault. You know, even though I might have hit a homer earlier in the game or something, but if I didn't drive the run in the 8th, I feel like I blew the game. You know, just stuff like that I should have never did. There's no need for that. But there's expectations. There's sometimes you just put that pressure on.
You heard him speak glowingly, though, in retrospect about 2022. It was special. He was 3rd in the MVP voting that year.
I got to go with Albert, hitting 700 homers. You know, I mean, I know it didn't really have anything to do with me, but just being part of that history in that moment, it was kind of like, you know, you get the chills. You almost black out. You know, you just can't believe what's happening. Just watching him go on that run, watching Goldie, and obviously that 22 year, like the way I felt physically was so good, like throughout the whole year basically. And I was hitting the ball hard and making, my range was unbelievable at third base. I was driving runs. I don't know, just like the way that felt. Obviously I don't know if I'll feel that again just because just getting older, but 20, I just think about that moment was, and just how fun the team was and how good we were. And we had young New, we had young Donovan. Those guys were like, it was just fun. It was just a good team.
Among his teammates were Albert Pujols and Yadier Molina. They will be inducted into the Cardinals Hall of Fame this fall.
Two of some of the best players ever. Obviously, playing with Yadi was special. Playing with Albert was special. Best moments of my career was playing with those two guys. Obviously, just being around them But, yeah, they definitely deserve it.
And you heard him mention Nootbaar. He and Nootbaar were very close teammates, and he says...
He's a good player. He's always been a good player. He's just had some injuries he's had to deal with. But when he's healthy and he's right, he can really help you win a lot of ball games. So, I'm happy he's back. I want him to do well.
He does poke at the idea and kind of joke about the fact that Nootbaar is a veteran leader.
That's what happens as you get older in this game. You become the leader, but... there's no doubt that I still don't believe that he's the veteran leader on that team. There's no way he's buying dinners. There's just no chance.
He did.
No chance. He said he did, but I don't believe it.
The young guy said he did.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Wow. Yeah. Chipotle. That's great.
Another one of the veterans now who played with him, Mason Wynn.
Just playing with him, I would make plays and kind of like wink at him. Nobody would see it, just me and him, and I kind of just joke with him. Obviously nobody can hear what we're talking about, but I do joke around, even though people may not think I joke around on the field, but I do. And I joke with him, and we would have a lot of fun, but I really enjoyed watching him doing his thing. But he's truly just special. But, yeah, we push each other. And, there was a sense of pride we took in, whether we want to be the left side and the defensive left side in the game, So that was kind of fun he had that mindset, and I did too.
Arenado has watched from afar now this young core developing, and he understands what the Cardinals are doing. He saw that tarps off movement start here as well.
Tarps off thing's kind of been happening everywhere now because of here. So, we see it in our ballpark. We see it, everywhere we go now we see it. And then, this team, I haven't been seeing a whole lot of games, obviously, but from the times I look, I check, it looks like just playing with a lot of energy. And guys are just taking huge steps. I don't know what to say. J.J. Weatherhold's been playing at possibly Rookie of the Year. And then Walker's playing at an MVP level. Burley's doing his thing, and Ivan's doing his thing. And, it's just solid team. They're just doing a really good job. And that's what happens. And when you do that, you're going to have a chance.
Cardinals beat the Diamondbacks yesterday 3-2. See Arenado at Busch Stadium while you can. 4 games this week, 1 already in the books. 8-time All-Star, 10-time Gold Glover, 5-time Silver Slugger, 3-time NL home run leader, and certainly will have a spot in Cooperstown. It's 6:28. Time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Amendment 4 on the August ballot hides some ugly facts. It would create a new minority veto power, but only for ballot issues that are citizen-led.
I just say no to that.
Amendment 4 permanently ends majority rule for citizen-led ballot issues.
I'm a no on 4.
Politicians put Amendment 4 on the ballot to severely limit citizens' constitutional power.
I say no on 4.
4 is a power grab by politicians. It lets one congressional district veto reforms backed by the majority of voters statewide, giving as few as 5% of voters control over the rest of us.
That's why I say no to 4.
4 would make it nearly impossible to rein in out-of-control politicians.
I say heck no.
4 takes away our constitutional power we've used for over 100 years to pass reforms that politicians wouldn't. Keep majority rule and your power. Just say no to Amendment 4. It's an ugly politician power grab. Paid for by Missourians for Fair Governance.
You can never have too many tools. Shop DeWalt deals at Lowe's. Get a free Select DeWalt 20-volt max power tool when you buy a Select 20-volt max 5-amp-hour battery kit. Plus, get a free additional DeWalt 20-volt max 8-amp-hour battery when you buy a DeWalt 10-inch 20-volt max dual-bevel compounded miter saw. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 6/24 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
And the match is about to begin.
Most of the team is out with COVID-19, so there'll be some substitutes tonight.
What's this? We have an unexpected guest on the field.
It's a dog. Well, they could do with extra players.
She's going for the ball.
Are front paws hands or feet?
Soccer season is full of surprises, and COVID-19 could be one of them. If you test positive, prescription medications may help. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Learn more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hi, this is Steve Butts from the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. In 2026, our agency celebrates a momentous occasion as we celebrate 65 years of service to our clients, a tribute to our founder and my dad, Nor Butts. Our staff is ready to assist you with all your insurance needs. So please call me, Steve Butts, at 314-752-2500 or at CrawfordButts.com. For auto, home, and commercial insurance needs, that's CrawfordButts.com.
Love your low mortgage rate but need extra cash? Don't refinance. Get a Scott Credit Union home equity line of credit for home renovations or debt consolidation. Learn more at scu.org. Rates vary. Terms and conditions apply.
It is 6:31. It's sunny and 60 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. Roger Brand is in the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, looks like we got a little trouble in Metro East right now. If you're headed that way on westbound Highway 64, before you get to 157, looks like we have, I can't tell if it's a stall or a crash, but an incident blocking there about midway down the hill, and traffic's just got a short backup, maybe a quarter to a half mile at most on westbound 64. Now, once you get past that point, it's good to go headed across the bridges. And on the Illinois side, while we're there, we do have a little bit of a backup now building northbound on 255 from 5570 up to Horseshoe Lake Road, where those two right lanes are closed. Northbound 55, the right lanes are slow. Butler Hill up to 270. Once you get on North 270, it's starting to get a little heavy and off the pace up the hill from Doherty Ferry to Manchester. And out west, southbound 61, seeing slow traffic about midway down from Highway P to Wentzville Parkway down to 64 and Highway 70. Next update at 6:40 from the overhead door company at St. Louis Traffic Center.
The weather forecast, it's a good one today. Sunny to partly cloudy and pleasant, high 82. Tonight, partly cloudy early, mostly cloudy late, low 68. Chance of a thunderstorm or humid tomorrow, but otherwise clouds and sun and a high of 82. It's 60 right now.
The St. Louis City Board of Aldermen gave initial passage to an amended budget after the state-appointed Police Board of Commissioners approved raises as high as 22% for command staff. The new budget takes $1 million from their settlement fund and puts it towards the matching raises for fire department command staff.
There was a discussion over whether the board should deliberately not pass the budget. Aldermanic President Megan Green.
Had we not advanced it today, we would have actually gone back to a previous budget that did not have some of the cleanup in it, did not have the recommendations incorporated from the alder people, and did not have the parity for firefighters.
However, had they gone down that road, Green says the police department would still receive 23% of the budget as required by state law. The Board of Aldermen are set to give the budget final passage.
The Missouri State Fire Marshal resigns. Tim Bean has been state marshal since 2017. He announced the move in a Facebook post, though he didn't give an exact reason for his departure. Fox 2 says a department spokesperson says Matt Lutkemeier has now taken over.
The news sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. Your Money Minute next.
Bill, that's a big smile for an old politician. I'm thinking about our plan. It's slick enough to make a lobbyist blush. First, we hoodwink voters with Amendment 5. Tell them it's a tax cut. Once they're hooked, we decide who pays the higher taxes.
So it's not a tax cut plan, and we don't get a say?
Right, just swaps who pays the tax, but it does remove 3 voter-passed taxpayer constitutional protections. That lets us levy new taxes on services, increase sales taxes, and even tax home sales. And voters will no longer get to vote on tax hikes.
Higher sales taxes on groceries, gas, service taxes on doctor visits, childcare, and even rent on apartments. Jeez. Taxes could exceed 20%.
Sure, they figure that up to 80% of taxpayers will pay more taxes. Many, hundreds more. Seniors, they'll get hit even harder, but our big donors will cut a fat hog.
The ones getting butchered by Amendment 5 are most taxpayers. I'm voting no on 5.
Paid for by Missourians for Fair Taxation.
It is 6:34. Let's get you caught up on your Money Report, sponsored by Eamon Gantner and Capriano Elder Law Attorneys.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Oracle has cut around 21,000 workers in the last year, saying artificial intelligence replaced some roles. The tech giant has been under pressure because of its expensive build-out of data centers for customers such as OpenAI. Staying with technology, those stocks are leading this morning's heavy losses for the markets. Investors have turned jittery on tech shares. S&P futures are tumbling 103 points, that's 1.4%. Dow futures are falling 335. And UPS is betting big on healthcare logistics. The shipping giant is investing $48 million to expand its cold chain storage network with 27 temperature control facilities across the globe. Demand has been surging for temperature-sensitive medicines, including cell and gene therapies and GLP-1 treatments. UPS says the expansion will help ensure critical medications are shipped safely and reliably from manufacturing facilities all the way to patients. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
McKelvey Homes, founded in 1898, is Missouri's oldest and most respected name in home building. It's true. A long-standing tradition of quality craftsmanship from McKelvey Homes and exceptional value, might I add. They're committed to the highest standards of excellence at McKelvey Homes. They offer homes in the St. Louis area and the St. Charles area. Whether you choose one of their thoughtfully designed communities like Strawberry Farms or the Wildwood area's got a whole bunch. You can go all the way through Cottleville Trails, even the preserve at Afton, which I marveled at that design. McKelvey builds in the most sought-after locations, places where families truly want to live. They offer innovative home designs as well to suit every lifestyle. I've walked through these homes. They are fantastic, just incredibly designed and beautiful. McKelvey Homes. Learn about them online, McKelveyHomes.com, and move up to McKelvey.
Let me tell you something about insurance. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. Handshake, commission, done. Then you may not hear from them again until it's time for renewal. But your business runs all year, so do the gaps and the risk. So go to Supersure.com. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, or HR manager, it can be too complex to just go buy a policy online. Supersure is the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with year-round support for you and your team. At Supersure.com, you can access tools like Fine Print Facts. It'll translate your current policy into plain English so you see what's covered and what's not. Plus a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know what actually needs protecting. Go to Supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies in one place. Supersure.com. That's Supersure.com. Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-day kitchen and bath. It's all about time.
Save time and money.
Do it now, don't wait till later. Call the top-notch renovator. It's about time.
3 days or less.
At 3-day kitchen and bath.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Today, the Cards, the D-backs. Ameren Total Access 550. First pitch 6:45. Cardinals Radio. 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is 6:39. This is Total Information AM on KMOX. Just taking a look at some national headlines. Vice President J.D. Vance left the first days of technical negotiations with Iran projecting optimism, telling reporters as he left Switzerland that he felt great about the progress that they made. Vance said a key part of the talks is keeping the Strait of Hormuz open, and he said Iran will allow UN nuclear inspectors into the country again. But Iran's foreign ministry spokesperson says there's been no visit scheduled for UN inspectors to see bombed nuclear sites, and Iranian state media reports Iran has made no new commitments regarding its nuclear program.
Sources telling ABC News that Bill Pulte, the acting director of national intelligence, has begun firing people at the agency. Pulte has promised to cut hundreds of jobs. The Office of the Director of National Intelligence hasn't returned a request for comment, and it wasn't immediately clear how many jobs are being affected. But sources say the National Counterterrorism Center was expected to be hard hit by the cuts.
House lawmakers are expected to vote today on a housing bill that already passed in the Senate. The measure will loosen regulations to encourage more home construction, open up funding to convert abandoned buildings into new housing, and ban Wall Street investors from buying single-family homes so those homes can instead be sold to families. A recent report found a nationwide shortage of 10 million homes. 5 Republicans voted against the bill.
It's 6:40. Grab the sunglasses on your way out the door. It is a very sunny morning. We'll take a look at the forecast after we check in with Roger Brand, who's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
We got some delays building out there, Debbie. This traffic reports a service of the Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm. One of them is due to, I believe it's a crash, westbound 64 east of 157. Traffic is jamming now approaching 159, so it's doubled in size pretty quickly in the last 10 or so minutes. So be prepared if you're headed out of Fairview Heights right now on westbound 64. Northbound 255, you have delays, 5570 up to Horseshoe Lake Road due to the road work. Coming up on the south side, on the Missouri side of the river, northbound 55, just a little busier on Butler Hill. North 270, a little slow through Tesson Ferry, then it's backing up 44 up to about Big Bend. It looks like there was an incident there. They were trying to get pushed to the shoulder, and still a little slow Doherty Ferry up to Manchester. South 270, just a little busy at Ladue. Southbound 61, midway between P and Wentzville Parkway, down to that 70 ramp, getting onto eastbound 70 through Highway A. Looks a little congested right now as well. Next update at 6:50 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Sandberg Phoenix serves your business in litigation, intellectual property, and products liability. We're more than a law firm. We're committed to your success. Learn more at sandbergphoenix.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
Another great day to get outside. AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Indeed, that's the case, Tom. It's starting out very comfortable, low 60s. In fact, some places are in the upper 50s this morning. We've got the sunshine. It's going to be beautiful today. Much better day than yesterday when we saw clouds most of the day until very late afternoon. The high got to only about 71 yesterday, well below normal. But today we rebound to about 82. Then overnight tonight, we're expecting a few more clouds around. That'll keep temperatures up into the mid and upper 60s across the area. Tomorrow, intervals of clouds and sun. The humidity starts to come up, and that could lead to an afternoon thunderstorm. Still pretty comfortable in terms of temperatures, though, with a high of 82. Now, we get to Thursday, some sun will give way to increasing clouds, and as the day wears on, the risk of a shower and heavy thunderstorm will go up, the high 83. Showers and thunderstorms seem to be a part of the forecast all the way through Friday, with Friday's high in the upper 70s to near 80. Gets a little warm and humid on Saturday with clouds and sun, and the chance for a thunderstorm high in the upper 80s. Right now it's 59 at St. Peter's, 62 in Florissant, sunshine, 64 downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
All right, thanks, Joe. It is 6:43. Not only has UK's Prime Minister Keir Starmer decided to walk away from 10 Downing Street, it appears his replacement has already been chosen. ABC's chief international correspondent James Longman is in London.
There's not even going to be a contest among other Labour MPs. Wow. That they've all just decided that Andy Burnham is their man. Such is the level of his popularity. So we are essentially going to have the coronation of a new prime minister, because it doesn't look like there's going to be a fight inside the Labour Party. And in a few weeks' time, mid-July, it looks like, when the contest can officially open, no one is likely to put their name forward except for Andy Burnham. And at that point, he will just become prime minister.
It is primary day in several states, including New York. And ABC's Jared Kofsky says New York's city mayor could play a role in some of the Democratic primaries in the city.
Tuesday is Democratic primary election day in New York City, and while Mayor Zohran Mamdani is not on the ballot, the races are expected to be a key test of whether the Democratic Socialist mayor's influence could grow in Washington, D.C. Two of the progressive congressional candidates Mamdani has endorsed, Daria-Lisa Avila-Chevalier and Brad Lander, are taking on incumbent Democrats. Last Thursday, Mamdani and Senator Bernie Sanders rallied together in support of the candidates they're both endorsing. The polls in New York close at 9 o'clock Eastern. Jared Kofsky, ABC News, New York.
A guided tour on an active volcano in Guatemala turned terrifying when it erupted.
Officials say the tourists were climbing the Fuego volcano, which is highly active and unpredictable. Just last year, hikers had just minutes to flee after the same volcano erupted. Local officials now issuing a stern warning.
Seamos responsables.
Urging tourists to follow local hiking restrictions.
That's ABC's Rena Roy.
Well, there's a lot going on in sports. Let's start with the St. Louis Cardinals. They took on the Arizona Diamondbacks. You heard at length, if you were listening at 622, of the comments from Nolan Arenado. And once again, here's how he was received. Very well.
Stepping out in front of home plate, Ivan Herrera. Arenado taking off his batting helmet. Right hand to his heart, waving to the Cardinal fans who give him a standing ovation, and rightfully so.
Might not be what he once was offensively, but typical Arenado fashion. He bears down on this at bat, and
Palante's next pitch. Arenado swings and drives it to the gap in left center field. The ball gets down, played on a bounce by Nootbaar, and there's a base hit for Nolan Arenado.
Cardinals traded him in the offseason basically because they have reinforcements. They have hitters. Alec Burleson.
1-2 pitch is grounded to the right side. That's going to be over the head of the first baseman, an infield hit, as it was knocked down by Marte, the second baseman, but nobody covering at first. So Burley picks up an RBI. He drives in at Nathan Church. 1-0 Cardinals in the third.
They have young players that they really like. Blaze Jordan with a sac fly made it 2-0. Fourth inning, Nathan Church.
Kelly again working from the windup with a man on third base, and there's a broken bat hit into left field. The bat goes flying into the camera well as Nathan Church, on the first pitch he sees, loses a bat, but gains an RBI. It's 3-0 St. Louis.
Arenado would have an RBI in this game, a ground out that would cut the lead to 3-1 in the sixth. And in the seventh, the Diamondbacks inched a little closer.
Cardinals have 2, the D-backs 1. There's a high fly ball hit deep to center field, and that is gone up onto Freese's landing. Straightaway center field, a big fly for Troy, his third of the year. And it is now 3-2 St. Louis, as the lead was just cut in half.
Tommy Troy with the home run for the Diamondbacks after Andre Palante went 6 innings, allowing just a run on 6 hits, no walks, 2 strikeouts. Ryan Stanek gives up that home run. But Jojo Romero pitches a scoreless inning. George Soriano gets an out, and the game is turned over to Riley O'Brien in the ninth. In a 3-2 game.
Blaze Jordan guards the line, backs up some at third. The pitch is swung on, popped him up. Behind home plate, off with the mask. Carrera on the track. He has it. It's a Redbird winner. Troy fouls out to Herrera, and this ballgame has come to an end. And for his second straight start, Andre Palante is a winning pitcher in a 3-2 final.
He's now 9-4 on the season with a 3.59 ERA, 19th save for O'Brien. Cardinals win it 3-2, and in the standings, they are the second place team in the Central, 5 games behind Milwaukee. They're also the number 1 team in the National League wildcard race. Cards and Diamondbacks tonight at 6:45. Some other headlines: Oklahoma wins the College World Series for the first time since 1994, beating North Carolina 13-2. Keith Tkachuk will go into the Hockey Hall of Fame. That was announced yesterday, the former Blues forward. Arch Madness going through some changes. They will add the Women's Basketball Championship to the tournament setting, March 3rd through the 7th at Enterprise Center. Dusty May leaves Michigan after winning a national championship. He'll be the coach of the Dallas Mavericks. Giannis Antetokounmpo traded from the Bucks to the Heat in a blockbuster deal in the NBA, and Lionel Messi is the all-time leader in World Cup goals, his 17th and 18th yesterday as Argentina beat Austria 2-0. Who's Hot, Who's Not, sponsored by St. Louis Composting, Growing Gardens, Making Memories.
Want to hear a shocking statistic? Medical malpractice is the 3rd leading cause of death in America. Don't believe it? Google it. And that doesn't count serious injuries like birth injuries to perfectly healthy children. All doctors wear white jackets, but it doesn't make them all the same. Most medical errors are committed by the same quacks over and over again. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Many hospitals looking for more profits are forcing doctors and their groups to be employees of the hospital or be forced out of their system. It's a troubling trend in medicine. People make mistakes, but medical mistakes are huge and often forever. If you believe your child suffered a birth injury or a misdiagnosis or mistake led to a loved one's death or injury, let our team of medical malpractice lawyers examine your case for free. No recovery, no fee. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Grammy award-winning quintet Punch Brothers returns to Powell Hall for a special evening of genre-defying contemporary bluegrass music, featuring the virtuosic talents of mandolinist Chris Thiele, guitarist Chris Eldridge, bassist Paul Cowart, banjoist Noam Pikelny, and violinist Brittany Haas. Punch Brothers creates music and lyrics that are both intellectually daring and emotionally resonant. This is modern string music at its most thrilling, bold, brilliant, and unforgettable. Wednesday, June 24th at Powell Hall at the Jack C. Taylor Music Center. Tickets at slso.org.
Get ready for a night back with legendary hits and non-stop energy.
I got my first real six strings.
Bryan Adams is bringing the Roll with a Bunches tour to Enterprise Center Friday, July 24th.
Hello, this is Bryan Adams.
Sing along to the classics as Bryan Adams delivers an unforgettable night of rock anthems. Plus, special guests Pat Benatar and Neil Giraldo. Bryan Adams, July 24th. For more info, KMOX.com/events. Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM, KMOX. Debbie Monterey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman. Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
6:51 and time to check the roads with Roger Brand and the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
We've got delays on the Illinois side, Debbie. This traffic reports the service of the U.S. Air Force Band of Mid-America 4th of July concert series, and one of them is that crash I've been talking about, westbound 64 before you get to 157. I got an update from IDOT, says it's the left lane that shut down for that crash, so just try to get over to the right when you can. Westbound 64 is jammed back to 50 right now, coming in through that Fairview Heights area, and eastbound 64 drivers are starting to slow for a look. You're backed up approaching 157 on the eastbound side. Northbound 255 from 5570 up to Horseshoe Lake Road, you've got a backup there. It looks like we have backed up traffic on eastbound 270 roadwork at the Illinois end of the Chain Rocks Bridge. It's jammed back through Riverview, so trouble's around into and around Illinois. Northbound 270, a little busy at Tesson Ferry, Gravois up through 44, Doherty Ferry up to Manchester. South 270, Oliveville is heavy. Southbound 61, north of Wentzville Parkway down to 64 and 70, kind of slow. South 170 bogs down at Brentwood. Westbound 64, Bellevue to Hanley is also off the pace. Next update at 6:58 from the Overhead Door Company at St. Louis Traffic Center.
Freedom 250. Join the U.S. Air Force Band of Mid-America July 1st through July 7th across St. Louis as we celebrate America's 250-year legacy with free concerts. No tickets required. Details at afbandtix.org. That's afbandtix.org.
What a great day today. It's going to be sunny to partly cloudy and pleasant, a high of 82. Partly cloudy early tonight, then mostly cloudy late, low 68. Chance of a thunderstorm tomorrow. A little more humid, otherwise clouds and sun and a high of 82. 61 right now.
Today marks the first day on the job for the new appointees to the Illinois Prisoner Review Board.
The panel underwent major changes in 2024, including the resignation of the board's chair after members granted early release to Crosetti Brand, a man with a lengthy criminal history. After that release, he was convicted of killing 11-year-old Jaden Perkins, who had tried defending his pregnant mother from Brand. This week, the 13-member board welcomes 4 new members, all appointed by Governor Pritzker and confirmed during sometimes contentious hearings in Springfield last month. The 4 were pressed on their resumes, including one fired from the National Network to End Domestic Violence after only a year on the job, and their willingness to deny early release depending on severity of crimes. 2 appointees, a former Bloomington police detective and a church pastor, were confirmed without issue. IPRB members make nearly $150,000 a year. Andy Day, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Governor Pritzker is speaking out following President Trump's comments on the safety of Illinois and Chicago. The president posted online yesterday asking why the governor hasn't called him to ask for help following multiple incidents, including the Juneteenth mass shooting in Princeton Park. Pritzker responded to the statement at an unrelated conference the same day, arguing that the president's comments are not making things better.
I wish that he would stop,
tweeting or, I guess, truth socialing, and instead actually help us with the things that we really need.
Pritzker's response comes as Chicago police have identified a 13th victim in the far South Side shooting.
A bar in St. Charles is suing the state's attorney general over gambling machines. Tuner's Bar and Grill also wants Catherine Hanaway's office blocked from enforcing a ban on what they call legal amusement devices, but Hanaway calls illegal gambling machines. The owners of Tuner say Missouri's gambling device statute is unconstitutionally vague as Hanaway is applying it to the devices. The lawsuit also says Missouri's gambling statute is unconstitutionally vague.
It's dinner theater with a major twist as part of the Repertory Theater of St. Louis's 60th anniversary season. The Rep next month presents Center Stage Food as Character, Ritual, and Spectacle. They are partnering with St. Louis-based conceptual dining experience Place and Time for a 6-course meal that draws inspiration from iconic plays and musicals. The immersive experience explores the role food has played throughout theater history. It's 2 nights only, July 24th and 25th.
I heard it's somebody's birthday.
Birthday excitement.
It's your birthday.
The birthday shout out is sponsored for you by Renner Garage Door, RENNER, forward and back. Remember, if you have a birthday or anniversary you'd like in this segment, email it to totalam@kmox.com, totalam@kmox.com. Happy birthday, Mary Butkus from the Polish American Ladies Society. Debbie Mae Thomas from Red Hatitude Ladies. Also, Marianne Smalley from the Life Group. And happy birthday wishes going out to Patrick Biddick.
This is the best birthday ever.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
Hey, what's better than watching Team USA in the FIFA World Cup? Watching it with an ice-cold beer in your hand, of course, and there's no better place to do that than at the Beer Garden at Anheuser-Busch. That's right. They are doing watch parties for the USA games in the World Cup. We just hosted a big event there. It was absolutely awesome. A huge TV. Every seat in the house is great. You're basically outside with a roof over you because you're in the beer garden. The beer is cold and as fresh as you can find it. Bring your crew early. Take a brewery tour and then settle in for all the action. Live music will kick off 2 hours before the game. They have it all. Live music, soccer, hanging out, and, of course, beer. $15 Mick Ultra pitchers, $20 Ultra buckets, $5 Ultra drafts in collectible cups while supplies last. Visit BudweiserTours.com. You will want to bring a big crew, reserve a table in advance. BudweiserTours.com.
After a disaster, emotional recovery takes time. Show Me Hope Missouri is here for you with free confidential support. Counselors help with stress, coping skills, and connect to resources. If the St. Louis tornado impacted you, visit moshowmehope.org from Missouri Department of Mental Health.
They say good things come to those who wait, unless you bite into a Hot Pocket right out of the microwave. Waiting to see a financial advisor about retirement could also bring some pain. The pain of watching your money evaporate in a stock market decline. The pain of trying to figure out Social Security and Medicare on your own. Or the pain of writing huge checks to the IRS that you really didn't have to. At the All Financial Group, they believe the more you know, the better decisions they can make. They offer a complimentary retirement assessment. Find out where you are, how you're doing, and if there's a way to improve your retirement outcome. Don't wait. Call the All Financial Group today, 636-230-8824, or online at yourmoneymattersstl.com, and set up your complimentary retirement review.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
Roger Brand, that looks like a big backup in the Metro East overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Yeah, crashes in the left lane are trouble right now, Tom. That's the one westbound 64 east of 157. Left lane shut down. Traffic's jammed back through Highway 50, exit 14 over there in O'Fallon, Fairview Heights. And eastbound 64 backs up, approaching 157, looking at it on the way by. And then we have this crash. EMS is on the way, north 270, midway between Gravois and 44. Left lane blocked there. It is backed up at Tesson Ferry because of that incident. And, of course, you have that roadwork jam northbound 255, 5570 to Horseshoe Lake. Next update at 7:10 from the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Today is Tuesday, June 23rd. I'm Debbie Monterey.
I'm Maria Aquino with what's next in the back and forth with the City of St. Louis and the Board of Police Commissioners.
I'm Tom Ackerman. There's a planned STL neighborhood meeting this afternoon to talk about one of the largest redevelopment sites in the city. We will find out more next hour.
I'm Sean Malone, a St. Louis City firefighter caught on security footage doing a quote-unquote unacceptable act at Lambert International Airport. I'll tell you what he allegedly did coming up.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. A nice day today with sunshine and some clouds. Our high 82.
Nice ovation for Nolan Arenado last night as he returned to Busch Stadium and the Cardinals beat the Diamondbacks. There was a lot of sports breaking as well. It's all in 15 minutes.
Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. The voice of St. Louis.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. The vice president touting progress in talks with Iran.
That is a major milestone.
Vice President J.D. Vance, who led the talks over the weekend, says he got a big concession out of Iran, that they will now allow international nuclear inspectors into the country.
Permanently ending a nuclear weapons program in Iran.
But that promise of nuclear inspectors was the same promise made under President Obama's deal that Trump tore up. And despite Vance's words, Iranian state media reports Iran has made no new nuclear commitments.
ABC's Mary Bruce. Iran this morning says no visits have been scheduled yet for international inspectors. A deadly heat wave is blanketing much of Europe. At least 18 people have died so far in France. Voters hit the polls in 4 more states for primaries today: New York, Utah, South Carolina, and Maryland. Prime Day is back. Amazon's summer shopping event underway now, expected to generate $26 billion in sales. This is ABC News. House lawmakers are expected to vote today on a housing bill that's already passed the Senate. It would loosen regulations to encourage more home construction and ban Wall Street investors from snapping up single-family homes. Between the Lincoln Memorial and the Washington Monument, the reflecting pool debate continues. ABC's Olivia Rubin has more.
President Trump saying it must be drained immediately for repairs, just weeks after a $16 million renovation project wrapped up.
It's not a lot of damage, but we'll probably have to let the water out and refix it.
The pool has been a pet project for the president, personally going there to tout the work.
It's going to look better than it did in 1922 when it was built.
But not long after it was repainted and refilled with water, algae spreading, turning the pool green, and that new paint peeling right off the bottom.
The president blames vandals for the peeling paint and the algae, but there's no proof that the pool was sabotaged. I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
It is now 7:02, and we have sunshine, 62 degrees right now in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. The St. Louis City Board of Aldermen gave initial passage to an amended budget after the state-appointed Police Board of Commissioners. After the police commissioners approved raises as high as 22% for command staff, the new budget takes $1 million from their settlement fund and puts it towards the matching raises for the fire department command staff.
There was discussion over whether the board should deliberately not pass the budget. Here's Aldermanic President Megan Green.
Had we not advanced it today, we would have actually gone back to a previous budget that did not have some of the cleanup in it, did not have the recommendations incorporated from the alder people, and did not have the parity for firefighters.
However, had they gone down this route, Green says the police department would still receive 23% of the budget as required by state law. The Board of Aldermen set to give this budget final passage.
And this follows the police board approving raises for command staff, and it's because the fire department has pay parity with police.
KMOX asked police spokesman Mitch McCoy what happens when the police department doesn't receive the full $250 million for their fiscal 2027 budget. He says they will continue to evaluate and figure out what they can do to invest in safety and their people. When asked if this was essentially defunding police,
I would say that I don't think that you would find many cities in America where a government would remove $1 million from a police budget to ultimately pay for raises at a fire department.
McCoy adds the Board of Police Commissioners can consistently reevaluate its money throughout the fiscal year, and if money needs to be deployed operationally, they can certainly do that.
But I can tell you that if we get to a point where we are continuously paying out legal settlements and legal judgments, the money is going to have to come from somewhere.
Maria Aquino, KMOX News.
A St. Louis City firefighter is on leave after allegedly defecating inside a box at the airport.
Screenshots making rounds on social media purported to show a firefighter defecating inside a box in a food storage area inside Lambert Airport. When asked about the defecation, a spokesperson for Lambert International Airport says, quote, "The incident that took place in Terminal 2 on June 10th involving a St. Louis City firefighter is unacceptable for anyone associated with this airport," close quote. The fire department confirmed the firefighter has been removed from his airport duties and is on administrative leave pending an investigation. A source with knowledge of the situation tells KMOX the incident happened inside of HMS Host food storage area inside the airport and that the food all needed to be disposed of after. KMOX has reached out to HMS Host for comment and is awaiting a response. We've also asked county police for any incident reports related to the defecation. Shaw Malone, KMOX News.
A man has been sentenced for the drive-by shooting of a 12-year-old in Baden. 34-year-old Devon Blair was sentenced yesterday to 18 years at the Missouri Department of Corrections after pleading guilty to the shooting. Blair drove to a home in the 8700 block of Canaan Avenue in Baden in December 2025 before firing multiple rounds from an AR-15 style rifle at the home. The 12-year-old victim was hit in the fire and later died from the gunshot wound.
There's a Plan STL neighborhood meeting this afternoon to talk about one of the largest redevelopment sites in the city, the Mark Twain I-70 industrial area. Jonathan Roper is city planning executive for the Planning and Urban Design Agency. He says the planning process also looks at improvements to Goodfellow and Natural Bridge.
Also, I will note that Goodfellow is it's wider than Highway 70, so we're thinking about how to make Goodfellow a little bit more of a engaging for the neighborhood as well versus something that you could basically land a plane on. So
at one time, the Mark Twain I-70 industrial neighborhood employed thousands. The meeting is from 4 to 6 at the Omega Center on Goodfellow today. We'll have more on this coming up at 8:22.
It's 7:06. Voters in the Francis Howell School District will see two propositions on the November ballot. Proposition H, a $150 million bond package. Prop O addresses facility needs and operating budgets. Superintendent Mark Delaney tells the Business Journal they are projected to lose about $9.3 million in state funding over the next 2 years, while the district sees higher costs for labor, insurance, fuel, and supplies.
The founding CEO of Greater St. Louis, Inc., who left for Columbus, Ohio, is back. Jason Hall was hired about 2 years ago to lead the Columbus Partnership, a large business advocacy organization. Hall declined to give details about his departure from Ohio or his future plans, but the Columbus Partnership released a statement yesterday saying Hall will step down at the end of the month because of a personal need to relocate closer to his parents, who still live in the St. Louis region.
It's dinner theater with a major twist as part of the Repertory Theater of St. Louis's 60th anniversary season. The Rep next month presents Center Stage Food as Character, Ritual, and Spectacle. They are partnering with St. Louis-based conceptual dining experience Place and Time for a 6-course meal that draws inspiration from iconic plays and musicals. The immersive experience explores the role food has played throughout theater history. It's 2 nights only, July 24th and 25th.
Finding the next person to lead the region's major airport. We've got that story on the way after we check traffic and weather. It's 7:08.
Cards fans ready to dress for the occasion? Well, Friday, June 26th, as the Cardinals take on the Miami Marlins, you'll get a brand new all-over Prince shirt. But that's just the start. You'll also get the matching shorts, too. It's not just a shirt, but a full summer set that brings a tropical twist to game night and makes waves in the stands. Available in medium and XL while supplies last. More details and tickets now at cardinals.com/promotions.
The weekend starts here. Grab your crew and kick it off at Friday Night Live at Busch Stadium. Every Friday night home game, Budweiser Terrace turns into the hottest happy hour in the Lou with $5 beers, $5 hot dogs, $7 margaritas, live music, and more all game long. Meet up with friends, soak in the energy, and keep the night going with baseball under the lights. Good vibes, great deals, your new Friday tradition. Get tickets now at Cardinals.com.
the legendary Fast Eddie at Fast Eddie's Bon Air, and St. Louis baseball legend Jason Isringhausen.
Izzy, what's going on, man?
You know what, Eddie boy, I've been pretty busy. Got to get out there and got to do the mowing.
Yep, I'll tell you what, when you get done mowing the grass.
Well, I do my best Forrest Gump impression with all of that mowing I have to do around the property.
Do it for St. Louis, do it.
Like Mama said, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get, except at Fast Eddie's Bon Air. What are we going to get at Fast Eddie's?
Let me get it right. You can come on over to Fast Eddie's Bar Bon Air, located on the other side of Clark Bridge in beautiful Alton, Illinois. When you're done mowing the grass, come over here and lounge around with me on the beautiful outdoor patio with all the big screens, the live music playing, the hot chick on a stick.
What about that fancy surf and turf you came up with?
Man, I'm telling you what, that is meat and seafood on one stick. And it's called the Eddie. It's the king of all foods.
Like Mr. Shannon always said, if you're 21 in the mood, come on over to that Clark Bridge and come see Fast Eddie's Bon Air in beautiful Alton, Illinois.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
Fast Eddie and Izzy making me hungry over here. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center, Roger Brand.
Well, Tom, we still have the delays in Metro East, although it looks like they've cleared. I haven't got the official word from IDOT, but it looks like they have cleared that crash on westbound 64 east of 157. Traffic's opening up about midway down the hill from 159, but it's still jammed between Greenmount and 50, so still a big backup. And at the front end of it's getting better. And eastbound 64, you've got delays just east of 255 through that 157 area. They were looking at it when it was out there. So there's a heavy traffic both ways. Obviously, westbound is the worst. Northbound 255 is slow. 5570 up to Horseshoe Lake Road. Westbound 5570, you got delays from Black Lane most of the way into 111. Eastbound passing 203 looks a little heavy as well. Still working this crash on the Missouri side. Northbound 270 south of 44. The two left lanes are shut down now. Traffic is slow at 55, and it backs up by the time you get to Tesson Ferry. Southbound 270 Olive down to Ladue is busy. Southbound 61 Wentworth Parkway onto 64 at Prospect looks a little slow. Westbound 64 is off the pace, Hampton to Hanley. Next update is 720 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Sunny to partly cloudy and pleasant today, the high 82. Partly cloudy early tonight, clouding up late tonight, those 68. Clouds and some intervals of sun tomorrow and more humid. Watch out for a stray afternoon thunderstorm, high 82. Thursday, some sun, then increasing clouds, humid. Some showers and heavier thunderstorms around in the afternoon, the high 83. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It is sunny and 62 degrees right now in downtown St. Louis.
It's 7:12. Sports coming your way in 3 minutes. The longtime director of St. Louis Lambert International Airport is retiring in 2 months. The St. Louis Airport Authority's 6-member search committee will help Mayor Spencer select the person who replaces Rhonda Homnebergy. The search committee includes Kathy Mazzarella of Graybar, former U.S. Ambassador to Ireland Kevin O'Malley, former VP of Communications at BJC, June Fowler.
The Missouri State Fire Marshal has resigned. Tim Bean has been the state marshal since 2017. He announced his move on a Facebook post last week, but didn't give an exact reason for the departure. Matt Lukemeyer has now taken over.
Well, July 4th is less than 2 weeks away, and while St. Louis police want to make sure everyone knows discharging fireworks in the city are illegal, police are gearing up for a big celebration downtown. Spokesman Mitch McCoy.
As we get closer to the 4th of July, we will have another detail put together to help us not only make sure that everyone is safe downtown, but that we are able to respond in an adequate way on the night of the 4th of July. So we will have that detail, the fireworks detail, put together.
Last July 4th, there were chaotic scenes downtown, not only with fireworks being thrown at people, but gunfire and several fires. KMOX asked McCoy if they would have a curfew this year. He says that is not known yet.
Well, if you are thinking or even considering checking out a Cardinals game this weekend, there are giveaways and theme nights. So let's see, June 25th is Barbie night, and that features the giveaway of a pink sequined Barbie Cardinals hat. Jimmy Buffett night is the next night. Actually, it's Margaritaville night on June 26th. And I believe that is also a hat, a Jimmy Buffett-themed Cardinals cap. And if you are into Harry Potter, July 9th is Harry Potter night. And that, I believe, the giveaway is a scarf.
Let's get into the Cardinals right now. Full coverage, team coverage here on KMOX, starting with the booth.
Last night at Busch Stadium, the Cardinals got a run in the third and then two in the fourth inning. Nathan Church scored the first run of the night in the third, and he drove in a big run the Cardinals needed as the Cardinals beat the Diamondbacks 3-2.
Kelly again working from the windup with a man on third base, and there's a broken bat hit into left field. The bat goes flying into the camera well as Nathan Church, on the first pitch he sees, loses a bat but gains an RBI. It's 3-0 St. Louis.
Church going 2 out of 3. He had a stolen base, an RBI, and a run scored, and a 2-hit night for J.J. Weatherholt as the Cardinals improved their record to 42-34. They've won 11 of the last 17. The win to Andre Pallante, 9-4. 3-2 Cardinals. Tonight it's Kyle Leahy making the start for the Redbirds. We're on the air at 5:50. I'm John Rooney.
Cut of the game sponsored by the Diamond Shop, thediamondshop.net. Let's go to the field.
Our player of the game this evening, 2 for 3 on the night. He stole a base. He scored a run. He drove in a run. He played some really good center field. Nathan Church, you are swinging the bat extremely well right now. What's been the difference?
Just trying to take a good at-bat. Andre Pallante pitched a really good game. Bullpen did a really good job and was just excited to get a win, 3-2 win.
Speaking of Pallante, you had a good look at it from center field. What was it looking like from you?
I mean, all his pitches were working really well. He was getting outs, and yeah, he just threw a really good game.
For you, as I mentioned, you were swinging a hot bat, especially over the last week. What's changed about you? Is it the fact that you're playing on a regular basis, seeing pitches better, seeing more often these days?
A lot of it's just trying to take a good competitive at-bat, take it pitch by pitch, not trying to do too much, and just trying to do something to help the team win.
And then also knowing that those guys behind you in the order, the 1, 2, and 3 guys are putting you in a position to drive in some runs as well.
Yeah, I mean, we got a really good top 4 of the lineup, one of the best in the league. It's just a good offense to play with, and it was just a good win.
How about those tarp off guys out there?
Tarps off is really good. Excited for that they're here, and it was a good win.
Nice work tonight.
Thank you, guys.
All right, Nathan Church, our player of the game.
With more, KMOX's Matt Pauley.
After a weekend in Kansas City where the Cardinals got less than 10 total innings from their starting pitchers over 3 games, the club gets exactly what they need from Andre Pallante in the team's 3-2 win over the Diamondbacks. Pallante goes 6 innings, allowing just 1 run. Manager Oliver Marmol appreciates Pallante's start for how good it was and also what it means for the team.
Andre did a really nice job. His mix was good. He used a sinker in off to righties really well, effective to lefties, and got 4 first pitch outs, which really helped get him deeper into that game. But him being able to go 6 today was important. We've used our guys in that pen a decent amount over the last series, but we were able to empty out today to get the win.
Pallante gets his career-high 9th win. He has recorded a win in a career-high 5 straight decisions and has held his opposition to 2 runs or less in 6 of his last 7 appearances. At Busch Stadium, Matt Pauley, KMOX Sports.
Nolan Arenado received a standing ovation when he came to the plate in the 2nd inning. Former Cardinal, played 5 seasons here, says he put a lot of pressure on himself to win games.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the mistake, I made. Like I said, I think, if I didn't drive the runs in, I feel like we were going to lose. It was my fault. Even though I might have hit a homer earlier in the game or something, but if I didn't drive the run in the 8th, I feel like I blew the game. Just stuff like that I should have never did. There's no need for that, but there's expectations. There's sometimes you just put that pressure on.
Arenado had a hit and an RBI last night in the Diamondbacks' loss to the Cardinals. Arenado's going to be in the Hall of Fame someday. You know who is? Keith Tkachuk. Announced yesterday he is going into the Hockey Hall of Fame.
Got the phone call again, and I just couldn't believe it. I actually didn't tell my family for about 45 minutes, and I grabbed my brother, my niece's fiance, and Brady, and said, hey, you guys want to have a beer together? And I told them and broke the news to them there.
Former Blues forward goes in. His sons, Brady and Matthew, are going to be playing together now for the Florida Panthers. Oklahoma wins the College World Series for the first time since 1994. Arch Madness adds the Women's Basketball Championship to its week of activity at Enterprise Center in the Missouri Valley Conference, March 3rd through the 7th. Dusty May leaves the national champion Michigan Wolverines to coach the Dallas Mavericks, and Giannis Antetokounmpo is traded from the Bucks to the Heat. Lionel Messi, a World Cup record, 18 goals now. He scored twice as Argentina beat Austria 2-0. I'm Tom Ackerman on the home of the Cardinals. 104.1 FM, KMOX.
When it comes to your hearing,
You deserve expert care. At the Audiology Center, you're treated by certified audiologists Dr. Colleen Bosler, Dr. Adam Foss, and Dr. Bailey Campbell, meaning 8 years of advanced education, clinical expertise, and a commitment to best practices.
Charlie, we offer hearing aids from all major manufacturers, so you get what's best for you. Every patient receives individualized testing, precise fittings using real ear measurements, and personalized programming to ensure your hearing aids perform exactly as they should. And our care doesn't stop once you leave the office. We're committed to helping your hearing aids last through ongoing adjustments, maintenance, and long-term support at no extra cost. Better hearing is personal, not one size fits all. Call us today at 636-441-7470 or visit us online at theaudiologycenterstl.com. And let's take that first step together.
Amendment 4 on the August ballot hides some ugly facts. It would create a new minority veto power, but only for ballot issues that are citizen-led.
I just say no to that.
Amendment 4 permanently ends majority rule for citizen-led ballot issues.
I'm a no on 4.
Politicians put Amendment 4 on the ballot to severely limit citizens' constitutional power.
I say no on 4.
4 is a power grab by politicians. It lets one congressional district veto reforms backed by the majority of voters statewide, giving as few as 5% of voters control over the rest of us.
That's why I say no to 4.
4 would make it nearly impossible to rein in out-of-control politicians.
I say heck no.
4 takes away our constitutional power we've used for over 100 years to pass reforms that politicians wouldn't. Keep majority rule and your power. Just say no to Amendment 4. It's an ugly politician power grab. Paid for by Missourians for Fair Governance.
Your morning news and information. Total Information AM.
721, bright sunshine, nice morning. We'll take a look at the forecast here in just a moment. And we should check in with Roger Brand. If you're just heading out the door, maybe you're sitting somewhere wondering, what's going on? I can't see. I can't tell. Well, Roger's got the cameras going, and he can tell from the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Yeah, we got a new crash right now I'm looking at, as a matter of fact, Debbie, on eastbound Highway 70. Emergency crews are on the way. It's eastbound 70, I guess we'll call it just before Bryan Road. They're calling it East Lake St. Louis Boulevard, closer to Bryan, but only the left lane is open. Looks like a spin-out crash. Traffic starting to bog down in the area. They're still working that crash. On northbound 270, south of 44, the 2 left lanes still blocked. Traffic is slow at 55, and it jams at about the Tees Road overpass up to that point. Southbound 270, 364 down to Ladou's busy. Southbound 61, Wentzville Parkway down to 64 and 70 heavy, and then eastbound 64 a little slow at the Interbelt. Westbound 64, Hampton to Hanley got the usual delays there. North County got a heavy stretch, not a jam though. It's slow Lilac to Riverview, eastbound 270, and there's a crash southbound 367 at the ramp to westbound 270. That ramp's a little backed up. Illinois side, you still have backed up traffic westbound 64, Greenmount Road through 159. It's due to a crash we had east of 157, eastbound slow 255 through 157, northbound 255, 5570 to Horseshoe Lake Road's busy, eastbound 5570, 203 midway into 111, and westbound Black Lane midway into 111 is heavy in the construction areas. Next update to 7:30 from the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Roger, it's going to be a nice day today. Partly cloudy, pleasant, and a high of 82 degrees. Tonight, partly cloudy early, mostly cloudy late, low 68. Tomorrow, intervals of clouds and sun, more humid with a thunderstorm in spots in the afternoon. A high tomorrow, once again, 82. Currently, it's sunny and 63 downtown at the Arch.
The news continues at 7:23. One of the largest redevelopment sites in the city will be the focus of a planning meeting today.
The former St. Louis Army Ammunition Plant sits 27 acres at the entrance to the city of St. Louis northern end off Interstate 70. And this, along with some of the other currently federal sites that are around it, we're looking at what could be the future in those areas, and then through the neighborhood plans and working with our city agencies, continue to work on those sites and make what the community's vision of that come to fruition.
Jonathan Roper is city planning executive with the Planning and Urban Design Agency. He says they welcome community input, and there's an event this afternoon at the Omega Center.
This event is part of the Plan STL neighborhood planning program for the whole neighborhood of Mark Twain. So that includes roughly 9 100 residents as well that live in the neighborhood. This particular area, along with the other federal sites adjacent to it, had thousands upon thousands of employees. And I'll also note Mark Twain I-70 Industrial had thousands of employees, including the old, I believe it's a Chevy Corvette manufacturing plant in the area too. So this place was a big manufacturing house. So at this point, we do have a lot of industrial and manufacturing that are there. This site is very unique because its proximity not only to the highways systems in St. Louis, but also airports and also the Mississippi, the trade and commerce that's along the Mississippi. This 27-acre site plus whatever comes next with the federal sites becomes an opportunity that is one of a kind here, not only in Missouri, but really the Midwest and the United States.
Roper says they are also exploring improvements to Goodfellow and Natural Bridge, which is considered a critical commercial and transportation hub and a gateway to surrounding neighborhoods.
Also, I will note that Goodfellow is it's wider than Highway 70, so we're thinking about how to make Goodfellow a little bit more of a engaging for the neighborhood as well versus something that you could basically land a plane on. So.
Again, the Plan STL neighborhood meeting for the Mark Twain I-70 industrial neighborhood is from 4 to 6 this afternoon at the Omega Center on Goodfellow.
Madison County's health department and some other county offices will be moving to downtown Wood River and out of the Wood River Township Hospital building. The Madison County Board has approved the purchase of 5 properties that will be renovated as modern offices, according to the Riverbender.
Madison County Chairman Chris Slusser says the former hospital, which opened in 1949, is increasingly impractical, expensive to maintain, and is like throwing good money after bad. The county is expected to close on the downtown Wood River properties this fall. They'll spend about $12 million renovating.
In St. Charles, a new mental health facility is opening. Changes Therapeutic Services, LLC, opened a 5,300 square foot office at 521 Madison Street on June 13th. The practice was founded in 2014. CEO and co-owner Linda Peterson bought the space in May to move the business from its former location in Maryland Heights. The Business Journal reports the company currently has 3 employees and around a dozen therapists on contract.
A survey of rural bankers in Missouri and other Midwest states finds mixed news. Creighton University economics professor Ernie Gass says the ag economy is still struggling.
Farmers are just not buying equipment right now. Farmers continue to repair old equipment. They're also renting equipment and not much buying going on. In fact, the number was below growth neutral for the 34 straight months.
He says agricultural exports to China have improved, but are still down 68% from 2024. Goss says latest Rural Main Street Index survey finds nearly 60% of bankers see modest rural business growth.
A bar in St. Charles is suing the state's attorney general over gambling machines. Tuners Bar and Grill also wants Catherine Hanaway's office blocked from enforcing a ban on what they call legal amusement devices, but Hanaway calls illegal gambling machines. The owners of Tuners say Missouri's gambling device statute unconstitutionally is vague, as Hanaway is applying it to the devices.
It's now 7:27, and it is sponsored for you, that time check, by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Bill, that's a big smile for an old politician.
I'm thinking about our plan. It's slick enough to make a lobbyist blush. First, we hoodwink voters with Amendment 5. Tell them it's a tax cut. Once they're hooked, we decide who pays the higher taxes.
So it's not a tax cut plan, and we don't get a say?
Right, just swaps who pays the tax, but it does remove 3 voter-passed taxpayer constitutional protections. That lets us levy new taxes on services, increase sales taxes, and even tax home sales. And voters will no longer get to vote on tax hikes.
Higher sales taxes on groceries, gas, service taxes on doctor visits, childcare, and even rent on apartments. Jeez. Taxes could exceed 20%.
Sure, they figure that up to 80% of taxpayers will pay more taxes. Many, hundreds more. Seniors, they'll get hit even harder, but our big donors will cut a fat hog.
The ones getting butchered by Amendment 5 are most taxpayers. I'm voting no on 5.
Paid for by Missourians for fair taxation.
For the last 33 years, you've discovered that at Banner Construction, we pride ourselves on quality craftsmanship. We believe the single most important decision homeowners must make when considering an exterior restoration project is, who do you hire? At Banner, we provide well-engineered, meaningful, long-term solutions to transform your home into the pride of the neighborhood. Let us help you fall in love with your home all over again. Call 314-569-1050 or visit bannerconstruction.com and have a banner day.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce!
It's Spruce, the weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people, pets, and bees. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Spruce, pet friendly, weed deadly. Find wherever weed killers are sold.
It is 7:30 and we have sunshine, 62 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. Here's Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we've got a crash on eastbound Highway 70, mentioned in the last report, east of Lake St. Louis Boulevard between there and Bryan Road. It sounds like it may have been a stolen vehicle incident. Not sure, but they are looking for somebody that fled on foot in the area, it sounds like. Eastbound 70 only, left lane's open, and it's jammed at Highway A through Lake St. Louis Boulevard, so be prepared if you're headed that way. Still working that crash, North 270 between Gravois and 44. They were trying to clear the 2 left lanes. Traffic's a solid jam back to 55. Once you get past that crash just before 44, it opens up, and then you're fine. South 270 approaching 364. Down to Ladue is busy. Eastbound 64, some slow stuff, Clarkson to Timberlake, and then McKnight to Big Bend. Westbound 64 approaching Hampton to Hanley's heavy. South 170 delays at the Parkway. North County, southbound 367 still has a crash at the ramp to westbound 270. It's backed up to Dunn. Eastbound 270, Lilac to the Chain Rocks is slow. Westbound 64 is still bumper-to-bumper pockets. Greenmount most of the way to 157, and eastbound 255 to 157 is slow due to an earlier westbound crash there. Next update is 740 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
It is going to be a pretty decent day today. Basically sunny to partly cloudy and 82 degrees. Tomorrow will be a little more humid and we could see a thunderstorm in spots, also a high of 82. It's 62 now.
A convicted St. Louis felon admits to selling meth to an undercover agent. 27-year-old Anthony Watkins was caught with guns and cocaine as well and has been charged on 7 counts. A search of Watkins' home on September 2024 found 3.1 pounds of meth, a pound of cocaine, 3 firearms, which Watkins is banned from possessing due to his prior felony. Watkins is set to be sentenced in September.
Shiloh police releasing the name of the 55-year-old Shiloh construction worker who died after being hit by a car Friday morning. Murphy Rogers was struck at Air Mobility Drive and Maple Street. The driver of the vehicle remained on the scene. Police say the driver is a female, a minor, who had non-life-threatening injuries.
She was taken to Shiloh police as part of the investigation. Rogers died at the hospital following the accident. Toxicology results will be turned over to the St. Clair County State's Attorney's Office.
The Board of Aldermen acting quickly to pass an amended budget to account for last-minute police and firefighter raises.
In response to the state-appointed Board of Police Commissioners raising salaries for their command staff, the Board of Aldermen perfected a budget to take $1 million from the Police Settlement Fund and put it towards the matching firefighter raises. However, there were some talks about whether the city should take the extraordinary step of deliberately not passing a budget, which would keep the current budget in effect at the start of the next fiscal year on July 1st. Aldermanic President Megan Green says this would have been a bad idea, with the department already guaranteed by law 23% of the city's budget.
Regardless of whether a budget passes or not, they have to receive that, and that pay bill has already passed. That puts their salaries at that place.
A balanced budget must receive final passage by the Board of Aldermen and approved by the Board of Estimate and Apportionment by the end of the month. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
The news sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. It's 7:34, your Money Minute next.
Jordan Walker has brought energy.
There's a ball that's lined to right field. Walker comes on, he dives, and he has it.
Excitement.
Pitch is hit into left field, base hit, Jordan Walker.
And big moments.
It's a grand slam for Jordan Walker.
A spot on the All-Star team takes more than talent. It takes your vote. KMOX is calling on fans across Cardinals Nation to get involved. Make your voice count. Go to MLB.com/vote. Select Jordan Walker and cast your ballot today. Vote Jordan Walker for the All-Star Game.
Went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to My Computer Career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
It is 7:36. This is Total Information AM. I'm Debbie Monterey along with Tom Ackerman. It's time for your money report sponsored by Busey Bank.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. The company that makes Schick razors is said to have rejected an unsolicited takeover offer. Sources tell us that Edgewell Personal Care believes the bid from private equity firm Yellowwood Partners is too low. Edgewell owns razor brand Schick and Wilkinson Sword, as well as Hawaiian Tropic Sunscreen and Wet Ones Wipes. Turning to trading, stock futures are tumbling this morning. Doubts are emerging over whether the tech giants can justify their colossal artificial intelligence spending. The question is now whether the current sell-off is just a temporary letting off of steam or a deeper shift in sentiment. And shoppers are expected to snatch up deals on back-to-school clothes and household goods, pushing Amazon Prime Day spending to another record. According to Adobe, consumers are expected to spend $26.3 billion online at Amazon and other retailers during the 4-day sale, which started today. Discounts are expected to be in line with last year's deals. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
This is the run my own business dream. This is the colleges paid for dream. This is the retire early dream. This is Busey, where your dreams and possibilities become moments. Through trusted guidance and expertise, through lifelong relationships. Because we're here to help you achieve the life you've always envisioned. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. I am quite aware of the dangers being on the road. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. These families' lives will be changed in an instant. We fight for these families as if they were our own. We've become America's largest injury law firm by winning cases just like these. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Gamma Tree Experts. You know your trees deserve the best care every day. Gamma Tree Experts provides that throughout the St. Louis area. Gamma Tree Experts. Tree services like tree pruning, tree and shrub fertilization. They'll remove trees if necessary. And when a tree becomes hazardous or no longer fits your landscape vision, professional removal protects your home and preserves your property's appeal. Since 1954, Gamma Tree Experts has provided homeowners and businesses with safe, comprehensive tree removal right here in the St. Louis area, backed by certified arborist expertise and full liability coverage. I'm telling you all of this because there are some people who offer tree services and don't have that. They don't have the expertise. They don't have the liability coverage. This is the best in the business, the Gamma Tree Experts team that evaluates each situation individually to determine the safest removal method. Doesn't matter the size of the tree either. I've seen them remove some giant trees here in St. Louis while protecting surrounding structures as well. Gamma Tree Experts, gammatree.com. Your trees deserve the best care.
A common question I receive is, how is the market right now? It just seems so volatile. Hi, I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. If you want to buy or sell but feel overwhelmed by the whiplash of the market, then let's talk. With over 23 years as a broker, I have the exact experience you need to help you navigate this tricky market. Call me at 314-441-4444. 314-441-ALL-4s. And remember, why pay more than two?
Commissions are not regulated and are negotiable. Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
Hi, this is Steve Butts from the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. In 2026, our agency celebrates a momentous occasion as we celebrate 65 years of service to our clients, a tribute to our founder and my dad, Norm Butts. Our staff is ready to assist you with all your insurance needs. So please call me, Steve Butts, at 314-752-2500 or at crawfordbutts.com. For auto, home, and commercial insurance needs, that's crawfordbutts.com.
This is the Gas House Gang from KMOX.
Bernie Nicholas and the Gas House Gang, today at noon on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
Yeah, not just Bernie, but the manager himself, Ollie Marmol, will be with us at noon today. Always a show people wait for among Cardinals fans. We appreciate that. Right now, we're waiting for Roger Brand to give us the latest over at Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Tom, there's still no change for eastbound 70 drivers out in the Wentzville area. This traffic reports the service of the U.S. Air Force Band of Mid-America 4th of July concert series. This crash, eastbound 70 just before Bryan Road, only the left lane's open. It's a solid jam. Back to 61. In fact, it's starting to slow on eastbound 70 at Wentzville Parkway, and it's affecting southbound 61 delays midway down from P to Wentzville Parkway, getting on to eastbound 70. Once you get past Bryan Road, of course, you're fine. Southbound 270, Dorset, down through Ladue is busy. North 270 jammed. 55 up through Sappington, then it's opening up through Gravois. The crash we had south of 44 has been cleared, but approaching 44 to Manchester, still some busy pockets. Eastbound 64 through the Chesterfield Parkways is slow. Lindbergh into Big Bend, you've got delays. South 170 is bogged down at Olive. Westbound 64 jammed. Kings Highway to McCausland, slow to Hanley. Illinois drivers, westbound 64 bumper to bumper, west of Greenmount through almost a 157, and then again from 25th Street up to the 70 split, and then approaching Route 3 to the Poplar. Eastbound 5570 Exchange in through 111. Westbound coming into 111 slow, and northbound 255 jam approaching Horseshoe Lake Road. Next update is 750 from the Everhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Freedom 250. Join the U.S. Air Force Band of Mid-America July 1st through July 7th across St. Louis as we celebrate America's 250-year legacy with free concerts. No tickets required. Details at afbandtix.org. That's afbandtix.org.
All right. Well, the weather today, perfect for doing just about anything outside, in my opinion. Let's get the latest from our AccuWeather meteorologist, Joe Lundberg.
Starting out in the 60s, we're headed to 82 this afternoon, and with a lack of humidity, which is a rare treat here in late June. Enjoy this great weather while it lasts, because this is probably the best day that we're going to have going forward. I say that because clouds will start to increase a bit tonight, those 68. There'll be more clouds and sun tomorrow, and the humidity comes up, could lead to a spotty afternoon thunderstorm with a high of 82. Thursday gets a little bit more unsettled, humid day with clouds on the increase and a couple of showers and a heavier thunderstorm likely in the afternoon. Could be some downpours with that, maybe some gusty winds, the high 83. Showers and thunderstorms seem likely Friday with a high in the upper 70s. Gets very warm and humid Saturday with clouds and sun and a chance for a thunderstorm at any time, the high 89. It's up to 65 now at St. Peter's, 66 in Florissant, sunshine at 67 downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Thank you, Joe. 2 minutes away from sports. UK's Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, announced he is packing up and leaving 10 Downing Street. Not only will he vacate the Prime Minister's position, he's not going to lead the country's Labour Party. ABC's chief international correspondent, James Longman, is in London and explains.
In many ways, Keir Starmer's big selling point was that he was this boring technocrat, and he'd be able to fix Britain because he had no personality, but that didn't matter because he could kind of get down and, do things in a really serious way. But apparently he was also just not consultative, didn't want to work with colleagues. There was a lot of chaos inside Downing Street, inside Number 10, multiple chiefs of staff. He was no match for the popularity of the man who is now described as the King of the North, Andy Burnham, plain speaking, normal, and likely his replacement as Prime Minister.
A heat wave hitting Europe. In France, at least 18 people have died. We get more from ABC News chief international correspondent James Longman in London.
The weather really is wild because just last night, thunderstorms broke out all over London. There was flash flooding reported, and the Met Office here reported nearly 30,000 lightning strikes in just a 24-hour period. So a weather roller coaster, but the heat continues throughout.
All right, let's get after it. There's a lot going on here. The heat did not hit Busch Stadium yesterday. It was actually quite comfortable. Cloudy and about 70 degrees at the start of the game. And the Cardinals took on the Arizona Diamondbacks. And a member of that team, Nolan Arenado.
Stepping out in front of home plate, Ivan Herrera. Arenado taking off his batting helmet. Right hand to his heart, waving to the Cardinal fans who give him a standing ovation, and rightfully so.
Arenado had a hit and an RBI in the game. Cardinals won the game 3-2. RBIs from Burleson and Blaze Jordan, as well as Nathan Church, and good pitching out of Andre Palante. 6 strong innings. Riley O'Brien wrapped it up with his 19th save. Arenado was introspective when discussing his career in St. Louis. He spent 5 years here after a 10-year run with the Colorado Rockies, and said team expectations sometimes clouded his personal success.
I think I made the mistake of 22 season. Like, in my mind, it was a great year, but it just wasn't good enough because we lost in October, even though it was a great year. So 23, even though 23 was a pretty darn good year, it just wasn't good enough, and I wish if I can go back, I wish I would just appreciate how good I was playing in 23 also. I was an all-star, I played really well, and I think that, that pressure of nothing's ever good enough, I don't think that was necessarily needed. I wish I didn't do that here, but 23 was also the hardest season I've ever played in my career, strictly based on losing the team ever in my career, because the expectations going into that year were still really high after 22, and we didn't live up to it at any. The season was bad from the jump, and so I felt like I put a lot of pressure on myself to turn that thing around, or it was my fault why those things were happening. So I wish I didn't do that if I can go back.
One of the greatest third basemen of his generation, though, Nolan Arenado, will be at Busch Stadium for the next 3 nights if you want to catch him. Cardinals and Diamondbacks tonight at 6:45 at Busch Stadium. We'll have the pregame at 5:50. College World Series, Oklahoma won it all last night, beating North Carolina 13-2. First title for Oklahoma since 1994. Arenado is going to go into the Hall of Fame someday. Keith Kachuk's there. Yesterday named to the Hockey Hall of Fame. The former Blues forward had a great couple of days. The day before, he learned that Brady Tkachuk, his son, was being traded to the Florida Panthers to join Matthew down in Florida. Arch Madness is going through some changes. The men's basketball tournament from the Missouri Valley Conference at Enterprise Center is now adding the women. There are going to be women's games and men's games March 3rd through the 7th this coming year. Commissioner Jeff Jackson on how that affects ticket sales. They hope for a boost.
I think you hit on something that we find very important.
He says that they do think that the addition of games, going from a group now where you add games, 4 on Wednesday, 4 on Thursday, second round games on Friday for the men and women, plus semifinals on Saturday and 2 championship games on Sunday, bring in more tourism and more dollars for the city as well. In basketball, speaking of that, Dusty May, the head coach at Michigan, is now the coach of the Dallas Mavericks. He leaves the Wolverines to join the NBA. Superstar Cooper Flagg, certainly an attractive part of that organization. Giannis Antetokounmpo is leaving the Milwaukee Bucks. He was traded to the Miami Heat yesterday. Lionel Messi set a World Cup record, goals 17 and 18 for Argentina, as they were able to defeat Austria 2-0 thanks to Messi. Ins and Outs sponsored by Innsbruck Resort, where every day is the weekend. Innsbruck is phenomenal, especially on a day like today with this weather as good as it is. Man, just an ideal day to be playing golf at Innsbruck. It's not just golf. It's 100 lakes. It's 7,500 acres. It's homes throughout the area. But the golf really is good. I would reach out to Kevin Corrin, the pro. He'd be happy to set you up with a tee time. It's a public golf course. You head out there and you will fall in love with Innsbruck if you've never been. It's only 45 minutes from I'd say central St. Louis County. It's in Warren County, right off the Wright City exit of I-70, Innsbruck-resort.com to see it all. And make that tee time at Innsbruck and tell Kevin that I sent you. He'll like to hear that. Innsbruck-resort.com. Now for the parlay of the day, sponsored by Circa Sports. Sports betting the way it should be. Let's go back to the World Cup and take a quick look. Now, Argentina is a team to pay attention to. Obviously, they won it the last time around. But the more I look at this, the more I think that France will be the biggest threat to Argentina this time around. I think they have to be the favorite. And according to Circa, their odds have actually gotten even better in their favor, plus 395 to win the World Cup. Spain is plus 525, Argentina plus 625, England plus 720. Those would be the four favorites. I still think the Netherlands at plus 1,400 is a decent play, and I'm a little surprised that USA is plus 2,000. I thought there'd be longer odds on the United States, but things are changing a little bit in terms of how the United States is played. Just some things to think about. Parlay of the day, sponsored by Circa Sports. Sports betting the way it should be.
America is turning 250 this year, and Circa Sports is celebrating by offering all users in Missouri $250. For everyone in Missouri, all you have to do is deposit $250 on your Circa Sports app, then play through that deposit. Once you do, Circa Sports will reward you with $250 right in your account. This is available for everyone in Missouri, new and existing users. Celebrate 250 years and find out more at circasports.com today. Must be 21 or older and in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The soundtrack of classic rock is coming to Hollywood Casino Amphitheater August 6th. Leonard Skinner and Foreigner joining forces for one epic night of legendary hits and unforgettable memories. It's the Double Trouble Double Vision Tour. From Sweet Home Alabama to Cold as Ice. Don't miss your chance to experience these two Rock and Roll Hall of Fame acts in one incredible show. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.com. For more info, KMOX.com/events.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM KMOX. Now the news. At 9, The Talk. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
7:52, here's Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we're busy out in the Westplex, Debbie. They're still working this crash eastbound 70 before Bryan Road. Only the left lane is open. Traffic's jammed back through 64, 61. In fact, eastbound 70 slows at Wentzville Parkway, and then, like I said, it jams at that point. Southbound 61, you have an injury crash at North Point Prairie. Lane blockage there. Traffic's jammed back across the Big Creek. Then you're backed up at Wentzville Parkway down onto that eastbound 70 ramp because of all the volume there. They just cleared a crash off to the Gudermuth exit on eastbound 364, but for now it's a solid jam at Highway K up to that point. Southbound 270 backs up bumper to bumper, Dorset to 364, then it's slow to Ladue. North 270 backs up as you ramp on from 55 to about Tesson Ferry, and then Gravois up through Manchester is pretty busy. Eastbound 44 west of Bowles to 270, you've got delays. Eastbound 64 is heavy. Spady all the way into Big Bend. South 170 slows at Midland all the way down to 64. There's heavy pockets all running all the way through there. Just call it south of the Rock Road, really. Westbound 64, Kings Highway to Hanley's heavy. Downtown, northbound 55, 32 Potomac, really. Up to 44 is heavy. Eastbound 5570 Exchange to 111. Westbound west of Black Lane to 111. Westbound 64. You've still got a jam from west of Greenmount through 159. It's slow most of the way to 157 and west of 111 to the 70 split. And again at 3rd Street and 255 north of 5570, you've got a backup. Next update is 7:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Weather is going to be very nice today. Partly cloudy, pleasant, high 82. Tonight, low 68. Tomorrow, intervals of clouds and sun, more humid with a thunderstorm in spots and a high of 82 degrees. Currently, just a perfect morning. It's 65 degrees with sun.
A new update in the Nancy Guthrie case. Investigators now say a ransom note sent just days after the 84-year-old was abducted claims she died. There were two versions of the note, one sent to Nancy Guthrie's family, the other sent to the media, which stated that her kidnappers did not mean for her to die and that they were sorry. The Pima County Sheriff's Department says the investigation remains active and ongoing.
A St. Joseph, Missouri man has been charged in a plot to attack government officials during the UFC match at the White House. 28-year-old Jordan Rinker is the second man to be charged for the attempted attack from June 14th. Rinker was charged in a one-count criminal complaint with conspiracy to commit murder in federal court yesterday.
Prosecutors say he accepted $1,200 from a co-conspirator who was then supposed to disperse the money to others involved in the attack plot. When investigating Rinker's home in St. Joseph, officers found multiple rifles and pistols, a gas mask, night vision goggles, 3D printed gun parts, and many other items that were taken as evidence.
We're getting a clearer picture of the price tag for the war with Iran. Here's details from ABC News Chief White House correspondent Mary Bruce.
The Pentagon is asking Congress for $80 billion to cover the cost of the war with Iran and other budget shortfalls. Lawmakers have been pressing the Trump administration to provide a more comprehensive price tag for this conflict. The last update from the administration had the cost of the war at $29 billion.
Governor Pritzker speaking out following comments made by President Trump regarding the violent weekend in Chicago this past weekend. This comes after Trump spoke out on social media saying, "Why isn't Governor Pritzker calling me for help? I could make Chicago a safe city in 1 month." At an unrelated conference Monday, Governor Pritzker explained he's taking measures to prevent crime in both Chicago and across the state.
I have asked for help from the FBI, the DEA, the ATF, because going after guns and drugs and gangs is something that concerns me just like it does local residents.
According to Chicago police, almost 40 people were shot across the holiday weekend.
Traffic next at 7:56.
Working as a dedicated Fidelity advisor, I always ask, what's important to you? I'll look at those priorities and goals alongside your full financial picture to build a comprehensive plan designed to help grow and protect your wealth. With proactive portfolio insights and an eye on taxes, I'm here to help you make the most of your money. I'm Laura Maxwell, and I'm a dedicated Fidelity advisor. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hardworking partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
The new Omaha Steak Store is now open in Baldwin at 15305 Manchester Road in Central Plaza. Stop in today and save 50% store-wide on legendary steaks, burgers, and more. Plus, get doorbuster deals starting at just $19.99. Discover the Omaha Steaks difference today at the new store at Central Plaza in Baldwin.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
Roger Brand is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Tom, a little bit better news on eastbound 70. They have the two left lanes open now before Bryan Road past this crash. Traffic still jammed back through 61. Southbound 61 at North Point Prairie got an injury crash. Traffic's jammed about midway between you and the Big Creek now, so that's a little tougher. They cleared that crash. Eastbound 364 at Gudermuth off at the exit. Traffic still jammed from K midway into that one. Northbound 270 north of 55 all the way up to Manchester still slow. Next update at 8:10 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Today is Tuesday. It is the 23rd of June. I'm Debbie Monterey, and play isn't just for fun. It is an essential part of childhood. After the news, learn more about the new strategic plan for the region from Magic House Children's Museum.
Arch Madness is bringing the women's game to St. Louis next year. Megan Lynch talks with MVC Commissioner Jeff Jackson.
The McDonald Planetarium in St. Louis getting a major technological upgrade. We'll preview the reopening.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. Sunny to partly cloudy today, the high 82.
Nolan Arenado back in town. We'll get thoughts on a Cardinal win for Ollie Marmol when he joins us on the Gas House Gang at noon.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Cuts coming to America's intelligence community. Sources tell ABC that Bill Pulte, the new acting director of national intelligence, has started lots of layoffs. ABC's Karen Waugh is in Washington.
Pulte has promised to cut hundreds of jobs. His appointment by President Trump has faced bipartisan backlash because Pulte has no experience in intelligence. The Office of the Director of National Intelligence has not returned a request for comment, and it was not immediately clear how many jobs had been affected. But sources say the National Counterterrorism Center was expected to be hit hard by the cuts.
In a post this morning, President Trump says Iran has agreed to what he calls, quote, the highest level nuclear inspections. Long into the future, Iran's foreign minister says no visits from international inspectors have been scheduled thus far. Dangerously hot weather settling in over much of Europe, with temperatures expected in the mid-90s or higher for several days. This is ABC News. A state of emergency has been declared in a part of Los Angeles where a warehouse has been burning for nearly a week now. L.A. Council member Isabel Jurado represents the district.
Families are still dealing with the smoke, odor, ash, closed parks and community spaces, disrupted routines, and serious concerns about what they are breathing.
85 million pounds of decaying food is now burning. Who is the loudest man on earth? Joseph McGrail Batup, that's who, an Australian air conditioning cleaner and an honorary town crier.
Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah! My lords, my ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Canberra!
That's him in his role as town crier. It was a different yell of the word now at 122.4 decibels that won in the Guinness World Record last week. To do it, he beat out the previous loudest person in the world, a school teacher from Northern Ireland. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Sunny skies, 64 degrees now at 8:02. Today is Tuesday, June 23rd. I'm Megan Lynch. Several St. Louis City aldermen considered taking a bold protest against the state-appointed board for their self-induced budget chaos, not passing a budget.
The vote to pass the budget was ultimately successful, with 10 voting in favor. Aldermanic President Megan Green says not passing the budget would have been a failed protest, with the police department still required by law to receive 23% of the city's budget this year. Alderwoman Alicia Saunier was concerned the failure to pass a budget to spite the state-appointed police board could hurt the city's legal case seeking to regain local control.
If a budget doesn't pass by the Board of Aldermen, how might you perceive that to impact some of the judicial conversations that are happening?
Saunier was one of 10 yes votes. The budget must receive a final vote of approval from the Board of Aldermen before being finalized by the Board of Estimate and Apportionment at the end of the month. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
I'm Maria Aquina. It's apparent the $250 million budget the St. Louis Board of Police Commissioners wants for fiscal year 2027 is not going to be the amount the Board of Aldermen passes.
We, as a police department, have to be collaborative. And we look forward to conversations and those sit-down meetings where we can continue to have conversations about what the Board of Aldermen can do to help support the police department and make sure that the Board of Aldermen are also making meaningful investments in public safety, because I know they also believe it's important.
McCoy says he does not think there are many cities, though, that a government would remove $1 million from a police budget to ultimately pay for raises for the fire department.
A St. Louis City firefighter on leave after an alleged act the airport is calling unacceptable.
Screenshots shared on social media over the weekend allegedly show a St. Louis City firefighter defecating inside of a box at Lambert International Airport on June 10th. The incident occurred inside of a food storage and prep area, according to a source with knowledge of the situation, who added all the food needed to be disposed of. A statement about the incident from the airport called it unacceptable for anyone associated with them, and they appreciate the fire department for removing him from his duties at Lambert. The fire department confirmed the firefighter in question is on administrative leave pending an investigation. KMOX has also contacted the county police department seeking an incident report. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
A man's been sentenced for a drive-by shooting of a 12-year-old in Baden. 34-year-old Devon Blair sentenced yesterday to 18 years at the Missouri Department of Corrections after pleading guilty to the shooting. Blair drove to a home in the 8700 block of Canaan Avenue in Baden in December of 2025 and apparently fired multiple rounds from an AR-15 style rifle at the home. The 12-year-old victim hit in that fire and later died from a gunshot wound. Shiloh police have released the name of the 55-year-old Shiloh construction worker who died after being hit by a car Friday morning. Murphy Rogers was struck at Air Mobility Drive in Maple Street. The driver of the car remained on the scene. Police say the driver is a minor female who had non-life-threatening injuries. She was taken to Shiloh police as part of the investigation. Rogers died at the hospital following the accident. Toxicology results will be turned over to the St. Clair County State's Attorney's Office. You could land a plane on Goodfellow, but they're looking at ways to make it a bit more engaging for the neighborhood, says Jonathan Roper. Roper is the city planning executive for the Planning and Urban Design Agency. This afternoon is a Plan STL neighborhood meeting to talk about that and the future of the Mark Twain I-70 industrial neighborhood.
This event is part of the Plan STL neighborhood planning program for the whole neighborhood of Mark Twain. So that includes roughly 900 residents as well that live in the neighborhood.
The event runs from 4 to 6 at the Omega Center on Goodfellow. A bar in St. Charles suing the state's attorney general over gambling machines. Turner's Bar and Grill also wants Catherine Hanaway's office blocked from enforcing a ban on what they call legal amusement devices. Hanaway calls them illegal gambling machines. The owners of Tuners say Missouri's gambling device statute is unconstitutionally vague because Hanaway is applying it to the devices. With the July 4th holiday approaching, St. Louis police already responding to calls for fireworks being set off. A reminder, all fireworks are illegal in the city of St. Louis.
We are responding to those calls, and our community plays an important role in addressing the fireworks calls that come up and making sure that everyone has a safe holiday. Fireworks are not only dangerous, but they are illegal in the city of St. Louis. It is illegal to sell, possess, or discharge fireworks.
That's Mitch McCoy with the police department. He says celebratory gunfire is also illegal and dangerous and not only presents a risk for you, but everyone around or near you. A new taqueria coming to the Shaw neighborhood. The restaurant will occupy 2 long vacant buildings at 4065 Russell Boulevard. That's according to the Business Journal. It's expected to span a combined 2,000 square feet and will include a kitchen, covered patio, and bar. Owner and St. Louis restaurateur Jordan Goodman says it will be open for dinner during the week and lunch and dinner on weekends. He hopes to open the space this fall. Coming up on Total Information AM, the Magic House has a new strategy, and it focuses on the importance of play. I'll talk with Beth Fitzgerald, president of the Magic House, coming up after traffic and weather. That's in 2 minutes here on KMOX.
Hey guys, Glover here with my very, very good friend, Dr. Kathy Maupin at BioBalanceHealth.com. If you have reached that certain age and you're just not feeling very well and nothing's working the way it used to work, go see Dr. Kathy. She is not only a medical doctor, she is a patient of this bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. It absolutely works. It's a long-term solution. She is an artist when it comes to helping you with your hormones. BioBalanceHealth.com for Dr. Kathy Maupin.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-720-8444. 314-720-8444. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-720-8444.
Grammy Award-winning quintet Punch Brothers returns to Powell Hall for a special evening of genre-defying contemporary bluegrass music, featuring the virtuosic talents of mandolinist Chris Thiele, guitarist Chris Eldridge, bassist Paul Cowart, banjoist Noam Pikelny, and violinist Brittany Haas. Punch Brothers creates music and lyrics that are both intellectually daring and emotionally resonant. This is modern string music at its most thrilling, bold, brilliant, and unforgettable. Wednesday, June 24th at Powell Hall at the Jack C. Taylor Music Center. Tickets at slso.org.
Chris Ronchi, Amy Mark Scores. The Chris and Amy Show. It's not the same old talk. It's fresh, it's different, and it's local. Chris and Amy dig into the news that matters, but they also keep it light, keep it fun, and keep you smiling. Serious when it needs to be, silly when it can be. That's pure entertainment with a local heartbeat. The Chris and Amy Show. Weekdays at 9 on the Voice of St. Louis. 104.1 FM. KMOX. This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts. Now the news. At 1, the fun. It's the Dave Glover Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
8:10, let's see what problems are out there on the roads. Roger Brand is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we certainly got delays still out there, Megan, and we still have one crash that's being worked. In fact, one of our KMOX commuters just called in to say that they shut down both lanes. I've been talking about this crash southbound 61 at North Point Prairie. They're saying both lanes are shut down, at least temporarily. Traffic's jammed midway between you and the Big Creek on southbound 61 right now because of it, so just be prepared. Hopefully they won't have both lanes shut down for very long. I'm sure it's just to get a flatbed in there or something to try to clear the crash. Eastbound Highway 70 slow at Wensville Parkway. It's jammed from 64 through Highway A. That's due to the earlier crash at Lake St. Louis. That's been cleared. Northbound 270 north of 55 all the way to Manchester is busy. A little slow at 64. South 270 south of 70 down through Olive is kind of busy. If you're on eastbound 64, there's slow traffic between Clarkson and Timberlake. Spady through the Interbelt. The Interbelt has slow pockets from north of the Rock Road all the way down to 64. Not a jam, but it is busy. Westbound 64 Science Center to Hanley's backed up. Eastbound 270, roadwork delays east of Lilac across the Chain of Rocks. On the Illinois side, westbound 5570 west of Black Lane into almost 203, and eastbound from 203 to 111, you've got heavy traffic. Westbound 64 from 50 to 157 is backed up. West of 111 to the Poplar or Musial Veterans Bridges, pretty busy. And northbound 255, jam 5570 to Horseshoe Lake. Next update at 8:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
KMOX AccuWeather, a nice day today with sunshine and a few afternoon clouds. High 82. Partly cloudy early tonight, then clouding up late tonight, those 68. Clouds, some intervals of sun and more humid tomorrow. A stray afternoon thunderstorm, high 82. Thursday, some sun, then increasing clouds and humid. Some showers and heavy thunderstorms are likely in the afternoon that could produce flooding downpours and gusty winds. Thursday's high 83. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
We have a sunny morning this morning, but the temperatures are pleasant. 66 in Florissant, 65 in St. Peter's, 64 downtown at the Arch. This is Total Information AM here on KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch. The Magic House St. Louis Children's Museum has a new strategic plan, and it's focused on play. You might say, of course it is, but there's a lot more to play and the serious benefits it has for kids. With me now, President of the Magic House, Beth Fitzgerald. Beth, thank you so much for your time this morning.
Well, thank you for having me.
The new strategic plan is called Play Together. Why is this so important?
Well, what we have noticed over the last 10 years is that play is starting to disappear from children's lives, traditional play, and it's being replaced by screen time. And what has happened is research is starting to show that this is really having a devastating impact on children's social, emotional, and neurological development. The CDC has issued a warning. The American Academy of Pediatrics has issued a warning because they're seeing it impact children and their physical ability, a lot of obesity. But what really alerted us to the significance of this is our Education Advisory Committee, which is made up of a lot of key leaders in the education world in St. Louis, was seeing that children are coming to school now not ready to learn because they really don't know how to play and get along together. And so they're not engaging with each other. It's causing some significant behavioral problems in the classroom. And so, the Magic House has been about play for 46 years. We have developed a trusted relationship with families in our region, with schools in our region. And so we felt like, we're probably the organization that needs to really make this a key priority in our community and bring it to the forefront of our leaders' attention, of schools' attention, and do all we can to bring play back, traditional play back into the lives of children around our community, especially those children in underserved communities who are most impacted by this.
Listening to what you're saying, I'd like to break this down into a couple things. Number one, the benefits of play alone. And then number two, you mentioned that interaction with other kids while kids are playing. First, what do kids get out of playing?
Well, it really is how they learn when they're young, and it's how they interact, it's how they make sense of their world, how they learn to communicate and connect with other children. They are learning to use their imagination, to be creative, to be collaborative. And I think, what we're saying now in terms of their lives and growing up in a kind of an AI environment, those are going to be the key skills that are going to have a child determine whether they're successful or not, because the rote learning will be handled by, an AI, whatever. And but the kids who are going to be leaders in our community in the future are really going to need to be problem solvers and have a great imagination. So we do feel like play is critical in terms of children's future, and that we need to make sure that children are also getting time to play in school as well as at home.
Let's talk about some of those other partnerships just beyond your physical location. You mentioned the partnerships with schools. What ways can the Magic House partner with them?
Well, for many, many years, we have been providing professional development for teachers around areas of hands-on learning. We've done a lot of work around STEM in the last 10 years. But at this point, we're looking at play-based learning as a way of integrating more play into the classroom. Teachers are just under so much pressure. Schools are under so much pressure for testing. And, as we've seen internationally through a lot of our work with our cultural exhibits, allowed us to develop relationship with school districts, school systems in other countries. Other countries are still really incorporating a lot of play into the daily routine for children, and that's really kind of disappeared for the most part in a lot of school districts here. So we want to make sure that we're advocating for more play in the classroom and also outside of the classroom at recess. So we hope to have an impact on that with creating a Play Together designation so that schools that commit to increasing playtime either in the classroom or at recess get a special designation for us and get a free opportunity to visit the Magic House.
You touched on this, but talk more about the Access for All initiative that is part of the strategic plan.
Yeah. So Access for All has been a long-term commitment from the Magic House that we reach out to the children who most need us, who have the least opportunity for access, perhaps through their families, for school districts that have the least amount of funding for field trips. And a lot of our fundraising as a not-for-profit organization is directed at funding to provide those kinds of resources to schools. We have a great relationship with Ferguson Florissant, with Hazelwood, with Hancock. A lot of the school districts in this region have really had some wonderful opportunities for their families to visit here, for us to be in the classroom on a regular basis. And we do see that schools really appreciate our input and families really appreciate our input. So we have devoted, last year we had 90,000 children and families visit the Magic House free of charge. So it's just really at the heart of who the Magic House has always been, is to make sure that play and learning is available to all children in the community. And we do that through our Access for All initiative.
Now, beyond just visiting the Magic House, I know part of the focus of this is helping families do this in their own homes. How do you do that?
Well, what we're planning on doing is providing some opportunities at the Magic House for them to see that kind of learning modeled and then give them the resources to take home and do that. We're also creating a new blog series that is going to be a lot of important play educators nationally as well as locally will be providing tips for families. And we're going to start doing a lot more through our social media. We have over 100,000 followers on Facebook and 20,000 on Instagram. And we know families are looking for ways to connect with their children at home. And so we're looking at many, many different ways of integrating our play together philosophy and this new kind of theme throughout the experiences here. We also go out in the community a lot to fairs and other kinds of school-based after-school activities that we can utilize that time to share information with families as well.
Beth, what do you need from the broader St. Louis community to help make your strategic plan happen?
Well, we are really hoping that there's kind of an overall sense of commitment from our legislators in the St. Louis area to look at this. So many other states are looking at making decisions around play in schools, and that would be really wonderful for us to have that kind of support. We intend to meet with local superintendents in the next semester, and then also reach out to the Department of Education and Elementary and Secondary Education to really try to have a coalition of people in our community that want to be a voice for families, be a voice for children, that say children need more play. And so we appreciate you taking the time to talk with us today, because it's exactly what we were hoping would happen, is that people in the media would understand the significance of this and really partner with us in getting this messaging out to families, to legislators, and to school administrators.
Beth, thank you so much. Really appreciate your time today.
Thank you so much.
That is President of the Magic House, Beth Fitzgerald, joining us this morning here on KMOX. Let's see what the roads look like. Roger Brand is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
We're still busy in spots, Megan. In fact, we have a new crash downtown, eastbound 64 at 14th Street. Traffic is jammed back to Grand on eastbound 64, so just be prepared if you're headed that way. It's bumper to bumper solid. Now, eastbound 64 is also slow past Clarkson and east of Lindbergh to Big Bend. South 170 Page to 64, still slow pockets. Westbound 64 on the Missouri side, west of the Science Center to Hanley, is still busy. Eastbound 70 still backed up Wentzville Parkway into 61. Southbound 61 still have lane blockage. One of our KMOX commuters has said it was completely shut down like 10 minutes ago at North Point Prairie. Traffic's jammed back through Highway U on southbound 61. Eastbound 70 still a little slow at Lake St. Louis and through Highway K to T.R. Hughes. Northbound 270 north of 55 to Manchester. 64 up to Ladou's busy. 44 east of Bowles to Moroz is heavy. Illinois traffic westbound 64, 159 most of the way to 157. West of 111 to the Poplar. Packers across the Musial Veterans is backed up. Eastbound 5570, 203 to 111. Slow, and northbound 255, 5570 to Horseshoe Lake is busy. Next update at 8:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Honey, I found the one.
Oh, I thought I was the one.
Oh, you are, but this one's certified, background check, shows up on time, and can install all the ceiling fans.
Heating, cooling, electrical, and plumbing. Trusted pros who do it right.
Coming up on Total Information AM, the Missouri Valley Conference Women's Basketball Championship moving to St. Louis in 2027. It's going to be part of Arch Madness, and I'll talk with MVC Commissioner Jeff Jackson coming up in just a moment. First, the forecast for today, sunny to partly cloudy, pleasant today with a high of 82. Partly cloudy early tonight, then mostly cloudy late, and overnight low of 68. Right now, sunshine, 64 downtown at the Arch.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
This year, America celebrates 250 years. 2.5 centuries of courage, sacrifice, and family stories passed down from one generation to the next. Hi, I'm Nick Mako.
And I'm Adam Baselogger, founders of Legacy Box. Your family's piece of the American story is sitting in an attic or closet right now, trapped on aging VHS tapes, camcorder tapes, film reels, and fading photos.
Those boxes hold moments you can never recreate. Your wedding day, your children's voices when they were little, grandparents coming back to life on screen.
Over 2 million families have trusted Legacy Box. And we've just partnered with the USO to digitize fragile handwritten letters from World War II, helping preserve American history for future generations.
As America turns 250, remember that your family is a part of the American story. Preserving those voices, faces, and moments is a part of your responsibility to the next generation. Don't let them disappear on your watch.
Visit legacybox.com/radio for our amazing America 250 sale. That's legacybox.com/radio to save.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Back with Total Information AM here on KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch. The Missouri Valley Conference bringing men's and women's basketball together for next year's Arch Madness, with the women's championship moving to St. Louis. Joining me now on the Quiver River Electric Guest Line, MVC Commissioner Jeff Jackson. Good morning, and thanks for joining me on KMOX.
Hey, thank you. Hope things are going well for you, Megan, today.
They are. This is great news, I think. How do you think this will elevate the experience, especially for those women's teams and their fans?
Well, we're really excited about it. The brand of basketball that our women play in the Missouri Valley, 2 years ago, we were the 7th-ranked conference in the country when it comes to women's basketball. So we think we've had a chance to elevate the women's basketball presence by being in St. Louis, which has always welcomed us with open arms. I think it'll synergize our tournament. I think our men's basketball will feed off of our women's basketball, and our women's basketball will feed off of our men's basketball. We're really excited about it.
What are you seeing when it comes to growth of the game, both in men's and women's basketball?
Well, I think it's something we wanted to take advantage of. We all know the upward trajectory that women's basketball has had over the last 4 or 5 years, especially in this part of the country. So we think being in a position to add that to our repertoire, so to speak, in St. Louis is something that's going to benefit the St. Louis community, is going to benefit the Missouri Valley Conference, but most importantly, Megan, it's going to benefit our student athletes.
What's behind the decision to go to a new 10-team tournament format for both men's and women's basketball next year?
A lot of things. I think first, as we see the tournament on both sides expand to 76, I think we started having purposeful conversations with our board. And when I talk about our board, that's our presidents and chancellors along with our athletic directors, about how we best position ourselves in this new environment as the Missouri Valley Conference. And we really felt that protecting the 1 and 2 seeds would be something that we would find to be advantageous as we move forward in the national landscape. Once we started making that decision, because of the numbers, it just seemed to make more sense to go to 10. Once we made a decision to go to 10, that meant that we would have the opportunity to play both tournaments in the same building.
Well, thank you so much for your time this morning. Really appreciate the update, and we look forward to being on the court next year.
Nice. Thank you, Megan. I appreciate it. You stay safe.
You as well. That is MVC Commissioner Jeff Jackson joining us this morning here on Total Information AM. It's now 8:28, and this time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
I never thought of myself as the type to settle down. Never knew where the team's next lunch was coming from. But then I met you, Easy Cater.
Workplaces everywhere are saying, I do want delicious food at work. And they're ordering from beloved restaurants with Easy Cater.
You were reliable. You had great options for every budget, even when marketing ops did keto again. We got through that together. With you, it's just so easy. Easy Cater, will you keep showing up at my workplace forever?
Find love at first lunch. Order at easycater.com.
And the match is about to begin. Most of the team is out with COVID-19, so there'll be some substitutes tonight. What's this? We have an unexpected guest on the field. It's a dog. Well, they could do with extra players. She's going for the ball. Are front paws hands or feet?
Soccer season is full of surprises, and COVID-19 could be one of them. If you test positive, prescription medications may help. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Learn more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hi, this is Steve Butts from the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. In 2026, our agency celebrates a momentous occasion as we celebrate 65 years of service to our clients, a tribute to our founder and my dad, Nor Butts. Our staff is ready to assist you with all your insurance needs. So please call me, Steve Butts, at 314-752-2500 or at CrawfordButts.com. For auto, home, and commercial insurance needs, that's CrawfordButts.com.
When pain starts to slow you down, BJC Healthcare and WashU Medicine orthopedic specialists are here to help. Nationally recognized leaders in orthopedics deliver care that's informed by research and personalized for you. From everyday aches to complex injuries and recovery, we're here to help you get back to doing what you love. Find an orthopedic specialist today. Visit bjc.org/orthopedics or call 314-362-9355.
Let's see if things are getting any easier on the roads. Roger Brand is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, there are tough for at least one spot, unfortunately, Megan. This traffic report's a service of the U.S. Air Force Band of Mid-America 4th of July concert series, and that would be southbound 61. Still have traffic backed up. It looks like traffic may be getting diverted onto Highway W. It's hard for me to tell because the crash was at North Point Prairie, but I don't see any volume once you get past that point. So it may be opening up at W. We'll keep tabs on it and see how it goes. But you're jammed midway, almost midway between Moscow Mills and Highway U. So a pretty significant jam, pretty much at a standstill there, unfortunately. Eastbound Highway 70, delays approaching Wentzville Parkway into 64. It's a little slow around Lake St. Louis and east of Highway K. Southbound 270, Olive to Ladue is kind of busy. Eastbound 64, Chesterfield Parkway west to Clarkson, slow. Lindbergh into Big Bend and downtown. We still have this jam approaching Grand up to about 14th Street due to a crash. South 170 bogs down at Olive. Westbound 64 Science Center to Hanley's busy. North 270 55 up through Manchester. Then it's just a little slow 64 to Ladue after that downtown. 44 heavy from the 55 merge to the Poplar. Westbound 64, a little busy at 159, but primarily 37th Street to the Poplar Street Bridge is backed up. It's slow across the Musial Veterans Bridge. 5570 both ways between 203 and 111. You got heavy traffic. Eastbound 270, same thing. Lilac up onto the Chain Rocks are backed up. Next update at 8:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Freedom 250. Join the U.S. Air Force Band of Mid-America July 1st through July 7th across St. Louis as we celebrate America's 250-year legacy with free concerts. No tickets required. Details at afbandtix.org. That's afbandtix.org.
From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, sunny to partly cloudy today. Pleasant. We're expecting a high of 82. Right now, sunshine, 64 downtown at the Arch. By now, you've heard plenty of stories of World Cup fans from overseas taking in all that this country has to offer, but Adam from Belgium might top them all. Brian Ping with our Odyssey sister station KNX has his story.
Adam is 35. He's from Brussels, and when Belgium qualified for games here in the U.S., he didn't just book a flight and rent a car. He shipped his own car here, a 1983 Classic he bought years ago for about 3,000 euros. He tells us it cost him almost that much just to get it here. It has only the basics, no fancy electronics or auto steering, just him, an engine, and the wide-open American road.
So I just wanted to combine like all my passions, classic cars, football, and also, of course, just the adventure, traveling, the unknown. The World Cup here in the U.S. might be a great opportunity for me to put that in motion.
It is high noon in Seattle, and this is Belgium against Egypt.
He started in Baltimore, then drove cross-country for Belgium's first two games in Seattle, and then down here to L.A. What struck him most was his journey through Big Sky Country.
At some point, especially in Montana, I felt like driving into different pictures or a canvas. It's like, wow. Yeah, it's just huge. It's huge. You don't see the end of the horizon, really. Just nothing, the emptiness and the wilderness.
It came with some surprises that he's not used to back home.
The force of nature in South Dakota. At some point, Google Maps said, be careful, tornado ahead. I never had that in Belgium, that type of notification, be careful, tornadoes. I was like, what?
Adam was lucky enough to get World Cup tickets through the Belgium Football Federation for, get this, $60. He knows people throughout the U.S., so he's had free places to stay, and he's on disability leave from his job back home because of a sprained ankle. But he says if he no longer has a job when he gets home, no worries, he'll get a new one. Maybe as a travel blogger.
And who knows, it's going to sparkle something, and I would like to make this even as a living in the future.
I'm Brian Ping, KNX News.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Your Money Report now. It's sponsored by Eamon Gattner and Capriano Elder Law Attorneys. Here's Bloomberg's Courtney Donahoe.
Elon Musk's stellar IPO party seems to be thinning out. SpaceX shares fell for a third straight day yesterday. The stock fell 16%, shedding more than $600 billion in market value. SpaceX is looking to raise at least $20 billion from selling bonds to fund a massive artificial intelligence borrowing spree. And shoppers are expected to snatch up deals on back-to-school clothes and household goods, pushing Amazon Prime Day spending to another record. According to Adobe, consumers are expected to spend $26.3 billion online at Amazon and other retailers during the 4-day sale, which started today. Discounts are expected to be in line with last year's deals. Walmart and Target are also holding their own sales events. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
Sometimes I think, what are the best ways that I enjoy an ice-cold Budweiser? At a ball game, maybe out playing golf with friends, Maybe some of you go to the lake, you're out on the boat, you crack open an ice-cold Budweiser. What you're doing is you are continuing a tradition that goes back 150 years. That's when Budweiser was created right here in St. Louis. People enjoy that ice-cold, delicious lager all over the world. And it all started right here in 1876. Also going back to 1876 is Major League Baseball, and Budweiser is the official beer sponsor of Major League Baseball. Of course, 1776 is when America was founded, and we are celebrating our birthday, 250 years this summer, and Budweiser is celebrating as well with their patriotic cans as they celebrate America's birthday. For the last 150 years, the king of beers. Crack open a Bud. This Bud's for you.
Bill, that's a big smile for an old politician.
I'm thinking about our plan. It's slick enough to make a lobbyist blush. First, we hoodwink voters with Amendment 5. Tell them it's a tax cut. Once they're hooked, we decide who pays the higher taxes.
So it's not a tax cut plan, and we don't get a say?
Right, just swaps who pays the tax, but it does remove 3 voter-passed taxpayer constitutional protections. That lets us levy new taxes on services, increase sales taxes, and even tax home sales. And voters will no longer get to vote on tax hikes.
Higher sales taxes on groceries, gas, service taxes on doctor visits, childcare, and even rent on apartments. Jeez. Taxes could exceed 20%.
Sure, they figure that up to 80% of taxpayers will pay more taxes. Many, hundreds more. Seniors, they'll get hit even harder, but our big donors will cut a fat hog.
The ones getting butchered by Amendment 5 are most taxpayers. I'm voting no on 5.
Paid for by Missourians for fair taxation.
A divorce is more than just legal paperwork. It's a life change. The stress, the uncertainty, the tough conversations. Cordell & Cordell understands what it's really like to face the unknown. The law firm of Cordell & Cordell has been representing clients during these transitions for over 35 years, helping you focus on what matters most. If you or someone you know is facing a divorce or family law matter, visit CordellCordell.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis. Joseph Cordell, Principal Partner.
Retirement. Exciting in one way, scary in others. How do you find the financial advisor that covers all the bases? Join Greg Ayler Saturdays at 1 on Fire Your Financial Advisor.
This is 104.1 FM KMOX. Here's what's happening. The full court press on to contain the New World screwworm to a few counties in West and South Texas. The parasite's been detected in cattle, sheep, goats in 8 Texas counties and a dog in New Mexico. The Pentagon asking Congress for $80 billion to cover the cost of the war with Iran and other budget shortfalls. And the top U.S. auto regulator has opened an investigation after a Tesla using an automated driving feature slammed into a Texas home at high speed and killed a 76-year-old woman standing inside. Let's get the latest on the roads now with Roger Brand. He's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
No good news for southbound 61 drivers, Megan. This traffic reports a service at Chesterfield Fence and Deck. They did clear that crash at North Point Prairie. Traffic is still jammed north of Highway U, but it opens up as you get down toward the Big Creek and a little bit before the Big Creek, I guess. So the jam's almost half the distance it was 10, 15 minutes ago, but there's still delays, but it should thin out pretty quickly. Eastbound 70, Wentzville Parkway to Z, east of K through TR Hughes is a little busy. South 270, approaching Olive down to Ladue, still slow. North 270, a little pocket between 55 and Tesson Ferry, then approaching Gravois up to Manchester is the busiest part. Eastbound 64 between Clarkson and Timberlake, Lindbergh into Big Bend, jam downtown Grand to 14th Street because of that crash. South 170 still has delays at Olive, slow going there, jam from the Parkway to 64. Westbound 64, Hampton to Hanley, you're still on the brakes most of the way through there. 44 as you get on to 55 with the merge to the Poplars, heavy. On the Illinois side, westbound 64 west to 159, midway to 157, slow. Northbound 255 from 5570 to Horseshoe Lakes, busy. Eastbound 5570 jams 203 most of the way to 111, and westbound 64 approaching 25th Street to the Poplar, bumper to bumper and heavy across the Mutual Veterans. Eastbound 270 Lilac to the Chain Rocks. You've got delays. Chesterfield Fence and Deck is your premier provider of fences, decks, patios, sunrooms, and more. Call them for a free estimate today. Now offering 20% off your next outdoor project. Chesterfield Fence and Deck, chesterfieldfence.com. I'm Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Thank you, Roger, for keeping us updated. That forecast for today calling for sunny skies. It'll be pleasant with a high of 82. Right now, sunshine 64 in downtown St. Louis. I'm Megan Lynch, and you're listening to Total Information AM here on KMOX. The McDonald Planetarium reopens next month after a major upgrade. The renovations include a star projector that's the first of its kind to be installed in the United States. And in studio with me this morning, McDonald Planetarium manager Will Snyder. Will, thanks so much for coming in this morning.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
When was the last time that the planetarium had a major upgrade?
Well, it has been a while, so people might remember back in 2001, they did a full gut job of that beautiful building in Forest Park, and that's when our last star projector, the Zeiss Universarium Mark 9, was installed. It's done a great job for us over the last 25 years, but we're ready to utilize some new technology.
Tell us about this new projector that it's going in.
Well, it's a really cool system. As you mentioned, the star projector itself is the first of its kind in the United States. It's a Goto Chiron 3, which is a bit of a mouthful, but it's built by a Japanese company. In fact, the original company that built the first star projector here in St. Louis in the 60s. So we're glad to welcome their technology back. It is a true marvel that will give you that beautiful starry sky that people are used to coming to the planetarium for. But what really makes this system amazing is that it's fully hybrid with a Digistar projection system. That allows us to not only look at the stars on Earth, but to fly out to Saturn, go see the Milky Way, and really leave our vantage point on Earth to explore the universe like we never have before.
So I'm assuming that it takes all those images and data from telescopes and other, maybe, I don't know, space journeys to put all this together?
You're absolutely right. So that beautiful starry sky on Earth allows us to see anywhere on Earth from our perspective, but then the Digistar system truly recreates the observable universe for us so that we can travel anywhere in space that we're aware of.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, I know there's also a new data visualization system. What's that?
Yes, yeah, that's what we call the Digistar system because it does do more than just, say, throw pictures or videos up on the dome. It allows us to take true scientific data, especially things related to weather and climate, say maybe data sets from NOAA on ocean temperatures or wind currents, and take what would be a really boring-looking spreadsheet of numbers and create dynamic visuals of it to allow people to better appreciate these concepts as both entertainment and education.
And along with that, an upgraded sound system.
Oh, absolutely. And for any fans of the laser shows at the planetarium, that new sound system will be absolutely great.
How immersive will this experience be now?
I think it will be truly new for people because over the last 25 years, we've been able to show that beautiful starry sky, but it's a little bit of a one-trick pony. That's the only thing that projector did, and yes, it did it really well, but now we still have that beautiful starry sky that really makes you feel like you are out underneath a dark sky, away from the light pollution of St. Louis. But going a step beyond that now, you can really feel like you are flying through the universe. You can see exoplanets. You can explore these concepts that you couldn't under our old technology.
What's it take to calibrate the systems that you're installing?
Well, a hybrid system like we have is the best of both worlds because you have that optomechanical star projector as well as the Digistar digital projectors, but that does take a lot of work to get the two to seamlessly meld. And when we open next month, the nice thing is you basically won't even see a difference between those two systems. They'll work in perfect harmony, you could say, but it does take a lot of work. We use multiple camera systems as well as alignment lasers to make sure all those stars in the sky are aligning with the digital projectors and make it as seamless as possible for guests.
Are you seeing an increased interest in space, you know, in particular because of the success of the last Artemis mission?
I think that's absolutely true. And really, people are still sort of riding the high from 2024 with the big solar eclipse in St. Louis. But as you mentioned, the Artemis program with Artemis 2, and now the plans for a moon base on the surface of the moon, it really does almost feel like a second space race that we're all living through.
Now, is there anything else with the renovation that we haven't mentioned?
Now, I think in addition to all this cool technology, the big thing is there will be new shows. We're proud that we still offer live programs at the planetarium where we can customize these shows to all the latest science as well as our audiences. So we'll have programs like The New Sky Tonight that will be similar to shows you might have seen in the past, but now with all more capability, as well as a new program called The Earth Today that flips that idea on its head, where instead of looking up to the stars, we fly up to orbit around the Earth and look back at our home planet and learn about it in a new way.
So the planetarium opens, remind me, July 18th?
Yes, Saturday, July 18th will be the big grand opening day, and anyone hoping to get tickets, those will go on sale on Monday, July 6th.
Fantastic. Anything else that we need to know to be prepared for the opening?
I think the main thing is that we want people to come on out and experience it. We're lucky in St. Louis to have such a wonderful facility and a planetarium here at the Science Center. And now with this world-class system, you're going to get an experience you really can't get anywhere else. And we're excited for people to see it.
Hopefully inspire a new generation of kids to go to the stars, right?
A new generation in every generation. You're never too old to learn about the stars.
Fantastic. That is McDonald Planetarium Manager Will Snyder. Will, thank you so much for coming in today. What's the website for the Science Center?
You can learn more at the Science Center's website. That's slsc.org, and that's where you can get tickets as well.
All right. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Will.
Thanks for being here.
For decades, Morgan & Morgan has represented hundreds of thousands of people at their hour of need. Injuries on the job, car crashes, medical malpractice, and nursing home abuse, Social Security claims, dangerous drugs, and dangerous products. We became America's largest injury firm for a reason, and no firm is even close. Then we got to thinking, what if we could prevent these terrible events before they occurred? So we built the AI-powered People Protector. Simply visit peopleprotector.com and type in the product you have questions about before you buy it. Children's toys and accessories, cars, drugs, products, you name it, we got it. With our success, we decided to pay it forward for all of America. Our way of saying thank you for your trust all these years. Morgan & Morgan, protecting America. And if you've already been injured, just visit us at forthepeople.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Are moles tearing up your yard? Don't let these lawn invaders turn your beautiful property into a mess. Rottler Pest Solutions offers professional mole control services to protect your lawn from damage. Visit Rottler.com today to schedule your free inspection.
Get ready for a night back with legendary hits and non-stop energy.
I got my first real six string.
Bryan Adams is bringing the Roll with a Bunches tour to Enterprise Center Friday, July 24th.
Hello, this is Bryan Adams.
Sing along to the classics as Bryan Adams delivers an unforgettable night of rock anthems. Plus, special guests Pat Benatar and Neil Giraldo. Bryan Adams, July 24th. For more info, KMOX.com/events.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM KMOX.
You're back with Total Information AM here on KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch. An all-female team of pilots from St. Louis University took off this morning from St. Louis Regional Airport in Alton, Illinois, to compete in the annual Air Race Classic. It's an all-woman, daylight-only race held each June. I had a chance to speak with the team after their briefing earlier this morning and before their takeoff. The SLU team is Sydney Nimerek, who graduated in May with a degree in aeronautics, Jocelyn Ciotti, who also graduated with a degree in aeronautics this spring, and sophomore Isabella Castro.
We are flying in one of SLU's Piper Archers.
Okay, so the four-seater pretty tight, though, right?
Yes, 4 seats. It's pretty small. Smaller than a car even. We're going to be up close and personal for the next 4 days.
So how does this race work?
So basically, in a couple of hours at 8 a.m., we will get ready to all set off, and we'll depart from Alton in groups of 5, and we'll head on our way to our first of 9 stops. Our first stop is Frankfort, Kentucky. At each stop, teams can choose to land or continue on along the routes. You can land, refuel, take a look at the weather, and determine if you have enough time to get to the stop before sunset, because the race has to be completed entirely during the day. And we'll do that for the next 4 days, going from stop to stop until we come all the way around and end in Mount Vernon on Friday.
How far can you go with the fuel that you have in the plane?
The fuel that we have about 48 gallons of usable fuel, so we'll have about 3 to 4 hours of endurance. We'll usually be flying about 2 to 2.5 hours at a time. We plan on stopping to get fuel at every point along the route.
How do you determine, is one person going to be the main pilot for the whole race, or will you be swapping things up throughout the race?
We will all be rotating about our 3 seats that we're going to be in. So the left seat and then the right seat up front will be kind of dividing tasks with all of the flight controls and the avionics, so the radios and navigation. And then the person in the back seat is going to be helping look for traffic and making sure all our documents are organized and everything we have is accessible.
Will you have communication with anyone on the ground besides talking to towers?
Yes, we
we'll be able to talk on the radio to the different tower frequencies. And then depending on our altitude, you will have some phone service, so we could send text messages should we need to.
What do you feel like are the biggest challenges of this race?
Some of the biggest challenges are facing fatigue throughout the 4 days. We're going to be flying upwards of 6 to 8 hours a day for 4 days straight. So something we're paying a lot of attention to is prioritizing eating, hydration, getting enough sleep each night, and de-stressing when we can along the route to take. It's a little bit of pressure, and there's some fast-paced environments. So we really want to focus on de-stressing after those events. And another thing is planning for weather along the route. That's the one thing that we have no control over, and we need to make sure we're making smart decisions while also pushing the race forward.
Yes, because here in the Midwest, you never know what could pop up. And of course, what elevation will you typically be flying at?
It's going to change all throughout the route. Today, we're starting at about 500 feet above sea level, and we plan on making it over the Appalachian Mountain Range today, which goes up to about 4,000 to 5,000 feet over the part where we'll be passing through while we're on our way to South Carolina. So it'll vary quite a bit throughout the route.
I said elevation. I should have said altitude, right? That's the correct terminology. For all of you, what is the best thing about flying?
We all just really love it. You have to have a passion for something like this. It's a lot of work to commit to flight training and learning how to fly, but it really just is the best thing ever. It's so much fun. We get to learn so much, and getting to do this with our friends is so fun.
Yes, I agree. It's a very special community. It's a very special career path where you get to do a lot of really awesome things and see some really cool places.
Now, this is an all-woman race. What does that mean that women are being represented in this way?
It means quite a bit to us being members of this race and the whole aviation industry and overall. I mean, about 4 to 6% of all airline pilots are women, so having this tiny corner of the industry to ourselves means quite a bit to be represented in this way. I was the recent Women in Aviation chapter president at St. Louis University. So it means a lot for us to be able to connect with even more women in the industry this way.
So you have to land by June 26th at Mount Vernon, Outland Airport in Mount Vernon, Illinois. We wish you the best, and please keep us updated.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. We are so excited, and we appreciate your support.
That is Jocelyn Ciotti, Sydney Nimerick, and Isabella Castro in the air now for the annual Air Race Classic. Coming up tomorrow on Total Information AM, some analysts are saying that the Iran war will permanently alter the global economy. I'll speak with an economist and get his take on whether he thinks that's the case. KMOX legal analyst Brad Young will have our weekly visit tomorrow morning as well. And then Missouri Net's Cameron Connor is going to talk to us about some adulting resources. Wouldn't it have been wonderful when you were in your teen years to be able to go to a website and find things you needed, like how to press a shirt or how to do laundry? Well, all those resources are available on an online source, and we're going to tell you about that tomorrow morning here on Total Information AM. If you don't listen to us on 104.1 FM or 1120 AM, you can take us with you on the Odyssey app. That is spelled AUDACY. You can listen to us live. You can listen to our podcast, or you can scroll back and listen to something that you might have missed just the hour before. Again, that's AUDACY.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Health Trends, sponsored by Ethos.
Skip the elevator and take the stairs. Research from the European Society of Cardiology shows climbing more than 5 flights of stairs daily, about 60 steps, is linked to a 24% reduction in all-cause mortality and a 39% reduction in cardiovascular disease death. This simple daily habit is a powerful way to protect the heart and extend life by lowering the risk of stroke and heart attack. I'm Margie Schaefer.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful.